reasons.
The material itself is actually degradable in that recycling process as well too. So it's a really good technology that's really starting to get sorted out right now, and the costs are starting to come down on it. There's some amazing Canadian companies that are doing it as well too.
McPherson says labeling contains shrink wrap, which can make recycling aluminum more difficult. District Brewing is in the process of switching to digitally printed cans. The Regina's Farmers Market is bringing its Saturday outdoor market back to City Square for the 2026 season, following strong public feedback. More than 1,700 people took part in a fall survey, with most saying downtown is the best long-term home for the market. Executive Director Holly Laird says returning downtown will help bring people together around local food. The board balanced vendor needs with community values and chose the plaza for its vibrancy and accessibility. Outdoor markets will run Wednesday and Saturdays from May 2nd to October 10th, with the Tomato Festival on August 1st. A man facing 10 charges connected to an April 2024 incident in Estevan had his case returned to court on February 2nd. William Joshua Curtis, previously ruled unfit to stand trial, now has a report saying that he's fit. Both the defense and Crown requested a fitness hearing, which is set for March 27th. Curtis faces charges including attempted murder, firearm offenses, and aggravated assault. He remains in custody at a Saskatchewan hospital. Saskatchewan Polytechnic has confirmed additional layoffs heading into 2026. In a news release issued today, the institute says layoff notices have been delivered to 23 full-time and part-time employees, with more workforce adjustments possible this spring. Sask Polytech says it will not release details of the positions or programs affected, citing respect for employees. The institute says while progress was made towards sustainability in late 2025, challenges in the international education landscape continue to affect recruitment and revenue. The latest cuts come on top of more than 100 layoffs carried out in 2025. That's 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com.
Weather for B&A Petroleum and Swift Current, with multiple locations serving southern Saskatchewan for over 30 years. See B&A Petroleum for all your fuel and propane needs. Tonight, partly cloudy and a low down to 0. Tomorrow, mainly sunny and mild, a high of +8. It will be a little bit breezy out of the northwest, 20 gusting to 40. Tomorrow night, becoming cloudy. Flurries in the area, low down to -3. Friday, partly sunny, a high of +2. Saturday, mostly cloudy, a high of 0. And Sunday, partly sunny, a high of 4. Currently, in downtown Regina, partly cloudy sky. It is +2.
B&A Petroleum is a southern Saskatchewan family-owned business that's there for you. They've been supporting their clients for over 30 years with locations in several communities throughout the southern part of the province. B&A Petroleum is available for all your bulk fuel and lubricant needs, with propane at selected locations Monday to Friday. And don't forget, their Cardlock location is accessible 24 hours for your convenience. B&A Petroleum. Fuel you once, fuel you forever.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Regina Motor Products. RMP Winter Tires at Cost event on now until March 31st when you purchase a set of 4 tires. Visit RMP online or in person today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Wednesday edition of the Sports Cage, and a special one. Thank you very much for tuning in or watching, however you're consuming the program for the next 3 hours. Thanks for making time. We're on all the audio streams. We are on YouTube. If you want to watch along, sportscage.com, and of course on the mighty 620 CKRM. It is for RMP, where their winter tires at cost event is on until March 31st. Get them now. Don't go in there March 30th and buy them, unless you're thinking about next year. You can purchase a set of 4 at cost. Visit RMP. 4 days until the Super Bowl, till the Patriots and the Seattle Sea Chickens go at it. We'll be talking about that as we go along. But it is National Girls and Women in Sports Day today. So, co-host or host, Tegan Whitco is with me, the Monday host from our Rider broadcast team. And we have a lineup, except for Eric Francis, all females.
It's stacked. I'm really excited to chat with Kate Beirness.
I'm excited to chat with all of them. Actually,
they're going to be great.
The Jessica Campbell one is from the Monday Nooner podcast interview we did with her, which was like 50 minutes long, and we get it to 40. Her story is unbelievable. Can we get something out of the way here, though? 936-6262. Prairieland Rentals text line. You guys can text along, play along. Let us know. We'll read them. Also, the YouTube chat's open. Prairieland Rentals is 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owner, anything you need rental-wise. National Girls and Women in Sports Day.
Yes.
I love it. I got a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old girl. Wife played sports. Sisters played sports. All about. Can we just go with female in Sports Day? It doesn't really roll off the tongue.
It really doesn't. National Girls and Women in Sports Day. But you want to get hyper-specific, Barney, if you want people to remember it.
Is that...
That's what I'm going to go with.
I'm in branding. I don't know. I think it makes it less memorable.
I mean, I'm also in marketing, so I probably should know better. But
female in Sports Day, national. It's not an international thing. This is just a national thing.
I believe so.
Okay.
It should be international. Every day should be National Girls and Women in Sports Day.
And Olympics started today.
Yes. And the Team Canada at the Olympics for the women's side, hockey, that starts tomorrow. And
Daniella Ponticelli,
play-by-play voice, PWHL,
calling the games.
Yeah, and she's going to join us a little bit later on this hour.
You brought up, this is called a tease. We're not going to talk about it until we talk to Daniella, but they're playing Finland tomorrow?
Yes.
And there's an interesting...
spin.
From the Finnish side.
Yeah. And it could be good for Team Canada. I don't know. We're going to talk to the professional about that.
It could be good if you're going to sprinkle in the game. Mm-hmm. You're going to want to pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
See, everything comes back to sportselect.com. We'll get into that later. Daniella Ponticelli is going to be with us right away. Jessica Campbell, we're going to hear that interview, assistant coach with the Seattle Kraken. Eric Francis. It's Eric and I and a bunch of females like my brother and I. It's awesome. He's coming in hour 2. Then Arielle Zerr from the Saskatchewan Roughriders is going to come in. And then hour 3, Kate Beirness from TSN. And she's like in between recording stuff. She's making some time for us.
She's covering the Raptor game tonight. So my understanding is they're going to get set up, they're going to do their tech checks or whatever they do, and then she's going to hop on with us.
And then Cianna Murray, an interview that Dave Thomas did as she's there.
Yeah, referee from Cudworth, Saskatchewan.
Oh, the tricky home of the tricky Maroons. Cudworth.
The tricky Maroons?
My Guido worked in Cudworth briefly back in the day. I'm a big Waka Prudhomme area guy too. So, okay, big news came down yesterday when it comes to the Olympics. Sam Bennett.
Yeah, he's up. Sorelli's out. Sam Bennett in. I feel like Sam Bennett should have been on that roster from the get-go, though. I mean, look at his credentials, right?
I think 95 to 98% of people would agree, except the Sorelli family and some of the other players. Bennett should have been on that team. I was going through social media last night, and they were showing the hits that he threw in the Four Nations, that he's thrown in the league, and I'm like, oh yeah, like how is this guy not on the team? And then did you see last night Sidney Crosby go down?
With the butt of the stick, that was a close call.
But it didn't look like that. Speaking of teases and baiting us, it didn't look like that initially. It looked like that hockey injury right away. It goes groin or hernia.
Yeah, and both equally as awful.
You're not getting on the airplane to Italy if it's either those.
Not.
But then it ends up being nothing. Connor McDavid takes a little bit of a hit last night.
And he also has the Battle of Alberta to get through tonight before they head off to Italy, right?
I mean, we got to ask Eric Francis.
Yeah, we got to talk to him.
Let's be real. Anybody going to the Olympics on any of these teams, because it's like 2 days of NHL left, something like that.
Yeah, tomorrow's the last day.
You're texting your buddies from the other team maybe and being like, hey, like no hitter.
Yeah.
No hitter tonight. We all good? Maybe a little rec game.
Maybe just go a little lighter on me.
That's it's scary. And if you planned everything, and then there's the guys that are waiting, the guys that are in the weeds and they're twiddling their thumbs and like, come on, I can still pee in a bottle and pass the drug test. I want to get in.
Well, you never want to see someone get injured, but when it means that it might get you to the Olympics, secretly you're saying some different stuff internally.
If you got a chance to go to the Olympics, and I don't know, maybe people are nicer and better people than me, better humans, I would be like, come on, somebody get hurt, I want to go.
Someone hit them hard against the boards.
Last night, speaking of women's sports, U of R Cougar women, U of S Huskies went at it.
Man, those Huskies are good.
Colson's whole family was there. I was going to go. And a really good crowd, by all sounds. Pretty packed for a Tuesday. There was nothing else going on. Tuesday night. 81-69 the final. U of S Huskies improved to 18-0. U of R 15-3. U of R wraps up against McEwen this weekend here, and then the playoff schedule will be set. They're going to end up hosting some stuff here. U of S, like you said, is
solid.
They're
on a tear right now, and I think their winning streak dates back to last season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's going
They're
deep.
Insane, yeah.
And then another thing, I forgot about this. We could save this for Clutch Performer a little bit later, but I apologize. We didn't know about this. I didn't check the right channels. The Cougars men's hockey team on Friday beat the U of S Huskies 5-4 in Saskatoon.
Ooh.
I don't think they've ever won at the Belcher. I think you could count on probably one hand how many times they've won at the old Rutherford Arena in the last few decades. Am I not? Rod Hauk, if you're listening, Sharky, any of you guys out there, am I wrong? I had no idea. Apologize. That is a massive feat. Cougar men's hockey team over the U of S Huskies.
Enemy territory.
Yeah. Damon Cunningham had 42 saves. And then up in Saskatoon today, the Saskatoon, or was it Saskatchewan Rattlers are no more. So if you have Saskatchewan Rattlers paraphernalia, it's a collector's item.
Yeah, it is now officially retro. They're now named the Saskatoon Mamba.
I don't agree with the name. They're not a client of ours. They don't spend any.
They just changed the species of the snake. It's not very Sasky, in my opinion. The colors are fuchsia.
Definitely not Sasky. You might as well call them the kangaroos. And it's a zebra.
And Mamba to me means Kobe when you think about basketball, right?
Definitely
I feel like it's a miss. I really do. No offense to the new ownership, but I just feel like there were so many other opportunities you could have taken. Or what was wrong with the Rattlers in the first place?
Why couldn't it just be something Sasky from the get-go?
What would you name it?
Oh, can I think about this?
The Saskatchewan Grain Bins?
I don't know. Colson, anything come to mind?
Prairie chickens. It's the Old Faithful.
Yeah, prairie chickens.
Prairie chickens.
I'm going to think on that. But Mamba, and would you say it's fuchsia? Is that the color?
It is fuchsia. It's a bright pink.
I thought it was purple. Maybe I should get my eyes checked. I
might be getting a little too specific there.
A guy with the name Barney, I think
you should know.
At me right away. But we're going with the Saskatchewan Mambas. It is an exciting brand of basketball, or it was. And they're going to play at the SaskTel Center, or Sask Place for all of us that were born in the 70s.
It's SaskTel Center.
I know, but I love calling it Sask Place. And then they're playing at the Belcher.
Yeah.
Playing basketball at the Belcher.
So a couple of different locations. And I don't know if that was just because of scheduling conflicts or what the deal was there.
Maybe the Belcher's expanding their hosting. Possibly. It's a great facility. They could start bringing in more things.
Yeah.
In there. The, what does it hold? 5-6 grandish, maybe?
I can probably
4,500? I'm always bad in this game. Guess how many seats in a place. I'm gonna hold at 4,000.
You're going to hold at 4,000? Okay, let me see if I can figure it out. 3,700.
I went over. Price is Right rules, I'd be out.
You'd be out.
Yeah, so the great size for that basketball. You could play it at the U of S PAC Center as well.
Oh, also 3,700 is with floor seating. So
for a concert.
2,700 is the seat capacity from the looks of things.
If you're rolling in with Gord Bamford, you can squeeze in 3,700. Western Pizza. Why wouldn't a guy or girl on this Wednesday? It's beautiful out. Perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings. All the Greek favorites you love, like souvlaki, ribs, salad, the goodness you just can't make at home. We're going out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Joining us, she's been with Tegan on the show before. Daniella Ponticelli is with us. Getting ready for a busy couple weeks here, Daniella?
Absolutely. It's going to go by so fast. As you know, with the Olympics, you have a very finite amount of time, but the women's hockey tournament starts tomorrow, a day before the opening ceremony. So we're ready to go.
I asked Tegan this, and I was like, can we mention, you're calling the games from here. You're not actually going over there, which is fantastic. And I think that even speaks to more of the skill level to be able to do that. First question's the obvious one. What are you hearing about the rink and the ice and everything that comes with that?
This has been the question, right? So actually the last time I was on, which was a couple months ago, Tegan and I were talking, I don't even know if the walls were fully finished. By all accounts, from what we're hearing, of course, at the beginning of this week, the building will not be complete. However, everything is going as scheduled, including the first game that will be played, ice hockey game that will be played there tomorrow, which is Italy versus France on the women's side. Obviously, the host nation wants to be in the bigger venue of the two, but a bulk of the women's games are being played at the Row Arena, which is also in Milan, but it's smaller. So think about the size you were just talking about, like Merlis Belcher, around that sort of size capacity for the smaller arena, which for the women's sake, I would say is actually good because everything is complete there. That has been built. That's good to go. By all accounts, everything is good to go. The last I read on Monday, toilets were still covered in plastic and there was a lot of building material kind of everywhere, which is just it's not fun, right? So I am aware, though, that the NHL was pleased with the test event that they had in January in terms of the ice. And that's kind of the most important thing. Let's keep the lights on. I heard the lights went out during curling today, different venue. But let's keep the lights on and let's make sure that the ice is safe and everyone is safe. That's the biggest thing.
I think they got the bags over the urinal garbage thing. I think they got that move from the Cooperator Center because of the bathrooms. The bathrooms there this weekend. Anyone that was in there this weekend, you know what I'm talking about. Sorry, Teague.
Boy. It wouldn't be the Olympics without some sort of facility controversy. But the games are happening. We all knew that was going to be the case. And you mentioned tomorrow the women's hockey will start. And Team Canada facing Finland. I happen to notice that there's a little bit of an issue with the Finnish roster, maybe some illness.
Sorry, you caught me off guard there, Tegan.
Sorry.
I wasn't aware of
4 players are reportedly out due to illness, so I'm curious to see how maybe Canada will capitalize on that with a full, healthy roster and what that matchup looks like from your point of view.
I mean, to me, this is still Canada's game to have a good showing against Finland. Finland's strength is in its goaltending. They do have a scoring ability, but if Canada can just get going and start to play their game, they will have the upper hand when it comes down to it. It would be good to know the players affected, because if they are PWHL players, that will definitely impact this Finnish team, a team that has a number of pro players playing against the likes of our goaltenders, and Renee Desbiens, Emirates Mashmeyer, whomever they're going to put in net for tomorrow's first game of the Olympics. It is not going to be an easy test. Finland and Czechia are their biggest threats by far. Switzerland rounds out Group 8 along with the US and Canada. But when you look at the top 4 contenders on the world stage, I've worked the last 3 women's world championships, it's those 4. It was back-to-back Czechia bronze in 22, 23, then 24 and 25 were Finland. So those teams are the ones that are kind of cracking that potential to get up there. Of course, Finland famously actually did make it to a final on the world stage. They lost to the United States in overtime. So they are a team that can be a difference maker. And they're the team right now, if you're just going purely based on medals in the last 2 years, that have shown the bigger threat. I would say Czechia in some ways might be more poised to give Canada a tougher time because they have plenty of goal scorers and their goaltending is also clutch. Klara Peslarova was in the PWHL and has wins under her belt in the pro level, along with a number of their star players, including first overall pick Christina Kelton-Kova. So I know I'm veering off a little bit. Finland tomorrow, that's the biggest test. I do think, obviously, if they are short players, it's a huge advantage to Canada. You can't take that away, right? Especially because these rosters are already smaller than what some of these teams are used to when they play international competition.
I love it. And I know from having a daughter that plays, and it gets rowdy. There's no body contact, but it's like they're trading paint, I call it. Like there is, when it comes to the Olympics and the female game, we've seen the Canada-US battles over the years. It's fantastic. What are you expecting as far as the game getting called differently than what we would see in the PWHL?
Really great point. I'm glad you brought it up, because I actually think this might be a difficulty for a team like Czechia. They are so used to playing physical. It's one of their biggest strengths. And we saw it the last few World Championships. We saw it sort of get let go when it came to Canada, USA. There was way more physical play. Hits happening, not being called on the international stage, which is normally absolutely would be called. So that's going to be one to watch. And of course, not getting into penalty trouble. Canada, if they're not able to match what's happening in the calls, could end up in trouble and have a Finnish team capitalize on power plays. They are very strong on special teams. So that is something to watch, because they're not allowed the same sort of just straight up hits as in the PWHL, although in the PWHL, open ice hits are not a thing. You have to be playing the puck, and it needs to be a directional hit. So there's none of this colliding, into this opposite force directional hits. That's what gets players tossed from the game. We've seen a number of major penalties this season, epic hits. Those just aren't allowed right now. But the players, you can tell they're all itching for it, and then they're still figuring out where that line is sometimes, because some of them are very closely. You're like, that could be legal. But when it comes to the Olympics, it's a no-go. I am curious, though, if some of the officials, as you had mentioned, officials who are in the PWHL working those games, how they are going to navigate some of the calls. They have to go by Olympic rules, but will Canada and the United States be given a little bit extra leeway?
Yeah.
We will see.
Well, I'm glad that you brought up Canada-US, because that's obviously one that a lot of hockey fans will be watching closely. Last time they had the Canada-US rivalry series, the US swept Canada. So what type of benefit is that to Team Canada in terms of the fact that they've seen a lot of these players and played against them recently?
The only correction I'll make, they embarrassed Canada. Let's call it for what it was. It was the most goals they had ever put up against Canada. But I think it's important to note that they were coming in with a team that had this young burst of offense. They're a team that thrives when it comes to being able to use their speed. I think if you're going to look at it and what could be pros, yes, Canada has now seen what the United States can bring, because I fully believe the USA brought it all, especially in those last two rivalry games where they just poured it on. They hit double-digit goals. That's unheard of in that sort of matchup. So I'm very curious to see, number one, how the goaltending is going to respond, because Anne-Renée Desbiens, our number one starter for Canada, was in net to start the game that went way off the rails. So it's important to note, okay, so even our number one had some struggles there. How is she going to respond? In the PWHL, she's the best goaltender right now. She hasn't even allowed more than 2 goals the entire season. She's incredible. But she's also helped by a tremendous defense. Montreal Victoire have the best defense in the league. They block shots. Some of those players are now in the mix. Katie Tabin I'm going to bring up, because a lot of people might not know that name if they're not used to watching the PWHL. She's one of the newer defenders being brought on to the Canadian team. And I say defenders because in the PWHL, that's the language we use. Just a heads up. I know that they're defensemen elsewhere, but Katie Tabin, I like her game a lot. She might be subtle. She might not get you a goal, but she's blocking everything. She is doing everything that you need to do as a strong defender, and I think that's important, because you're going to have the likes of Sophie Jakes, Claire Thompson, who are going to want to give you offense from the blue line. So you need that balance, and I think in that sense, Canada has made some adjustments in response to the rivalry series.
Here's a question kinda from the YouTube chat here. Colt messaged in. Hillary Knight, I think I get what he's trying to say here. The U.S. hockey GOAT, greatest woman of all time for USA. I don't know how old Colt is, but I am familiar with Cami Granato. I am familiar with Emily Kaplan. What if you're going to go maybe a GOAT female hockey? Hilary Knight's got to be up there. What are your thoughts?
She is. And she has been the face of USA Hockey for the last 10 years, if not more. So I completely understand where he's coming from. She is USA Hockey. This is her 5th and final Olympics. She has made that very clear. So, of course, you've now set the bar. You want your captain to go home with gold. And they are poised to do that. I will say this, when you look at her overall production, okay, just going by the numbers in the PWHL, she's not quite what she was at last year. She had her best season. She led the league in points. This season, a little different, but you have to think she's working with new people on a brand new team as the captain of the expansion, Seattle Torrent. So I almost don't want to look too much at that. She absolutely shines on the international stage, much like Marie-Philippe Poulin, right? Those are two captains who, if you need something, if you need them to dig deep, they're going to do it. So I'm with them on that. I think she's the GOAT of this generation for sure. And it's going to be hard to top because the spotlight has been here for Hilary Knight in a way that even for Granado just wasn't there. So I know her too. And to me, I'm like, wow, that name just holds so much water. But I completely understand if some of those heroes of the game don't get the same shine just because finally there's the spotlight on women's sports.
Colt's 30 years old. By the way, he just messaged in. Colt's never lived without a cell phone. He doesn't know what it's like.
No, I feel like the first 10 years, he's not an iPad baby for sure.
You bring up such a good point, though. I mean, today is, after all, Girls and Women in Sports Day, and this is why we have a stacked and very impressive women-based lineup in our show today. But I wanted to ask you, when it comes to the shift in tone that we're seeing in terms of coverage and shining the spotlight on these absolutely incredible hockey players, now it's kind of the passing of the baton, and I want you to specifically look at Abby Murphy with us. Breakout star. She has been making some headlines, and that is a name I think a lot more people are going to be familiar with after this Olympic tournament.
Absolutely. Or sorry, I thought we were going to see the clip because it's so good. There we go.
There it is. Yeah.
Oh, it's just beautiful. So she was on the assist, showing off her skill. And she has been someone that anybody who knows anything about women's hockey has heard this name. We weren't sure if she was going to declare for this year's draft, but because she had that COVID year where you could potentially take the extra season, she is of the final group doing that. So she's in her 6th year in the NCAA. 5th or 6th. My apologies. I should double check that. But she's extended by 1 year because of that. And the point is, she is just so skilled. Look at it. Oof. Just gorgeous. Now, I'm excited because we know she's going to declare for next year's draft. And it's really going to come down, a lot of people are saying it's going to come down to her and a defender on Team USA, Caroline Harvey, who is on the Olympic roster yet again. And the two of them, they're veterans at such a young age, in their early 20s when it comes to international play and all they're able to do. So it'll be interesting. It'll be one of the two of them, and it's going to depend which team, of course, gets the first overall pick and their needs. Do they need another incredible goal scorer? Do they need some better defense that can produce on their back end? So there's a lot of things up in the air. I find her very interesting, very fun to watch. She's so skilled. She's also got an edge. So if you like that, and I think a lot of hockey fans do, I think you're going to love an Abby Murphy on your team. She's a bit of an instigator at times. She gets under people's skin. And I feel like a lot of Abbies in our league are like that. Abby Rock is like that too. So,
well, I know she had an interview with Emily Kaplan, and she said, I consider myself to be the Brad Marchand of women's hockey.
There you go.
Yeah. Matthew Tkachuk.
And I think that's a really good analogy.
Yeah, I love it. I live with one of those. My 13-year-old. I think it's awesome.
Exactly. And that's the thing about this league is you get all personalities, and it makes it great. You know, you don't just have one type of player. So she's going to be a great addition.
Daniella Ponticelli is joining us here on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. She's calling the Olympic women's hockey games. I got to ask you, since it is National Women in Sport Day, idolize. Who did you idolize growing up as a female broadcaster, and maybe who do you nowadays?
Yeah, it's tough thinking about the growing up part because I'm always at a loss. I also wasn't someone as a kid who watched a ton of sports. I was super into my dance and gymnastics stuff. Like, I was doing my own thing. I wasn't at home watching sports, and I never even thought sports were for me or that I would ever have a place in it until I started getting into media work, and I started behind the scenes doing camera work, doing everything, curling, football, hockey, and then eventually found my way into play-by-play. It's a long story that involves working fringe sports like roller derby, but that was the starting ground for me. It was something that I was very comfortable with, and then it just exploded. It was such a passion of mine. I'm like, I can't ignore it anymore. So it's tough to think back to when I was younger and like a female, because I don't even know really where those influences are. I will say now I'm a huge fan of Doris Burke, have been for a long time, and my contemporaries. Like I look at the likes of Cheryl Pounder, who I get to work with, Becky Keller, who I get to work with. Kenzie Lalonde and I are going to be the first ever female play-by-play announcers calling Olympic hockey on television in Canada. And I would actually venture that that probably is beyond just Canada. But the point is we now have 2 female pairs calling Olympic hockey. That has never happened before. And it's because we're at the right time coming into this, both all of us skilled as a group of 4 and getting to do our craft every single day, which is huge. That just wasn't happening before. So, I'm going to look to my contemporaries on that. And I feel like I'm missing some. Obviously, Botterill, just the fact that she's in there and she's always been surrounded by men and, is doing her thing. And whether you agree or disagree with her opinions, she's just such an incredible player and has done so much for this country as well. Cassie Campbell-Pascal, how can I forget her? Leah Hextall, who was the first to do a lot of broadcasts in the United States. There are so many women, and I'm just so fortunate that in a lot of cases, we're contemporaries. We're actually doing this all together, and I'm thrilled about it.
There's a comment here on the YouTube chat. Blake says, when I think of PWHL broadcasting, I think of Daniella Ponticelli. So I think that's also something that, as women's sport continues to grow and evolve, what message do you share with people who are maybe thinking about getting into sports, whether it's, on an organizational level or as a broadcaster? I mean, he's saying Daniella's my broadcasting idol. Does it feel strange that people are looking up to you now? What do you say to them, for those women who are?
Always, because I still always consider myself, and I hope this never changes, just a student, right? I joke with Becky Keller. I'm like, every time I work with you, I learn something new. And I'm like, I hope that never changes. Whether it's just a different way of looking at the game, a different way of breaking it down, something else to be excited about, a way to just elevate the experience. Because it's not about me. It's never about us. It's about trying to make this accessible and as exciting for the viewer. And Olympic hockey, by the way, just as an aside, is that. It's really a lot of storytelling because, for example, Sweden, Germany, how many players are you familiar with on those 2 teams? So it is an introduction as well, and that kind of makes it a different type of call. But overall, I'm always open to talking to people, and I'm so grateful I've had a chance to chat with a number of young women who are pursuing this and trying to find their way in. Of course, the question I get often is like, okay, what school do I go to, or what do I do? And that's a really tough question because it's not just about schooling. You can absolutely pursue education. This is also something that has to be hands-on, and so it's about trying to find local leagues where you could potentially get behind a mic and just get reps in. That is honestly some of the toughest things. That goes for men and women, by the way. Plenty of my male colleagues who are fantastic, and we sort of run ideas by each other, have the same things that they deal with when it comes to just getting access to a sport, a game. I shout out to the University of Regina, University of Saskatchewan, who you were talking about before I came on. That opened the door. I would not be where I am without the U of S. I will say that fully with all my heart, because it was them that said, if you're going to get our men's team broadcast, we need our women covered too. That opened the door. If they hadn't said that, that opportunity wouldn't have existed. I wouldn't have started calling hockey. And by the way, I thought about that the other day, and that was 4 years ago. So Beijing 2022 was my first season of calling hockey, and here we are. So there are paths. I always tell people that there's always a path if this is where you want to go and pursue it. You have to be, you have to be a student, you have to be relentless, and you have to just keep wanting to get better. And it's not easy because all of your mistakes are very public.
You got it, yeah. You got to get the reps.
I feel like you two know as well on radio. Like when you have a dumb moment, you're like, I just said that.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. It's fine.
I really used to care.
with a lot of the young kids kind of coming up, it's that, right? Just
It's
trying to
all
make
reps.
people understand.
Like you said, it's like just find somewhere where you can get the reps. You're only going to learn so much in school, and it's just doing that. Okay, thank you so much for doing that. What's the sleeping schedule like for the next 2 weeks for you? It's got to be all over the map.
Italy time is not as bad as like Finnish time and whatever that I've also worked on at times, but it's early. It's morning show hours, I feel like, for you guys. If 2:33 a.m. wake ups if you're lucky, and then out the door and going.
It's a lot of coffee.
That's awesome. No, just a lot of NyQuil.
It's only a week. Like, it goes by so fast. So the women's, just a heads up, women's tournament does start well before the men's. So just don't forget about the women. The medal games will not interfere with any men's hockey medal games. That's why they have the structure that they have, which I love. It's important to give both those groups their due and their spotlight.
Thanks for doing this today. Have fun. Like you said, it's gonna go by so fast. Take it all in, and I really appreciate you taking time today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
There he is. Wow. She gets to call games at like 2, 3 in the morning, and then maybe 7. And that's morning show aside. Calling hockey play-by-play is very difficult.
You have to be sharp.
You got to be on your toes. And I'm not saying curling is easy, but curling's like baseball. I've done both.
You can tell stories in between.
Time. Yeah, it's like, I bought some new shoes today.
Some breathing room.
Hockey, it's like you got to be on your toes.
And you also want to make sure you're pronouncing names properly if you're not familiar with all the players. That's a whole other element to it.
As I look at Colson. We're going to go to break. It's a Sports Cage. We are streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
Good evening, everybody. Bob Cole with Harry Neal. If you grew up watching hockey, you remember Jeremy Roenick. The goals, the moments, the personality that jumped off the screen. He didn't just play the game, he created hockey memories. Now the player behind those moments is coming to Yorkton. Jeremy Roenick, NHL superstar and Hockey Hall of Famer, live and unfiltered, sharing the moments you remember and the stories you've never heard. The Yorkton Terriers' 3rd annual Celebrity Sports Dinner, presented by the Kinsman Club of Yorkton, February 21st at St. Mary's Cultural Center. Tickets are limited. Nights like this don't come around twice. Visit YorktonTerriers.com now.
And the puck's dropped on your financial future. Are you skating toward retirement? Don't get caught offside when it comes to your work pension, farm succession, or changing family needs. Chad Reach, Senior Wealth Advisor, and the team at GP Financial Services and Aviso Wealth are your local independent advisors helping Saskatchewan families plan for retirement and beyond. 306-584-2755, gpfinancial.ca. Mutual funds and other securities are offered through Aviso Wealth, a division of Aviso Financial Inc.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
This is Sports Cage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. 620 CKRM.
When you ask someone who's the first female coach in the NHL, well, it's a Sasky lady. Born in Moosomin, Saskatchewan, ties to Langenburg, ties to Melville. It's Jessica Campbell. The 33-year-old is the assistant coach of the Seattle Kraken, 2nd season doing that currently. The Monday Nooner podcast late this summer had a chance to catch up with Jessica and go through her journey of getting to coach in the NHL. It's episode 234. If you want to listen to the full episode, I broke some of this down. It's about 11 minutes long. She talks about her younger days, what got her there. Just an unbelievable story. Sasky girl coaching in the NHL. Here's a snippet of the Monday Nooner podcast interview with Jessica Campbell. Again, it was episode 234.
So what we like to do on our show, mainly talk to Saskatchewan folks and kind of go through the journey. Obviously, you don't just land in the National Hockey League. There's a lot of years and work that goes into it. So going back to starting out, do you remember the first time you put on skates? Like, what are your first memories in hockey?
Yeah, that was in Sask. Gosh, I mean, I think of so many different memories, but I have very clear, vivid memories just at the rink in Rokenville and Elkhorn, Manitoba. We skated there a lot because it was grid roads away from our farm. So between the two, just my parents dropped us off and we were playing tag and skating and shinny with any kid that was in the rink, whether it was 5 of us or 20 of us. I think about the Sandheims, like we grew up with those boys playing against them and with them. And I just fell in love with being on the ice. I loved it. I loved skating. I loved any opportunity to play. And so a lot of my memories were growing up playing boys hockey through pretty much every level through Saskatchewan until I was 16 years old and took the step to the next level with the women's game and moved away from home to BC. But yeah, everything that my core makeup is built in the prairies.
And your mom, she was a player, right? She was probably one of your first coaches. Tell us about, I guess both your parents, but obviously big influences there.
Yeah, huge influences. My mom, we still joke. She always reminds me that she still has eligibility left with the U of S. She was the Huskyettes back then. And she's got a year or two left. But no, I mean, we had the true prairie upbringing. I had 2 older brothers and older sisters. So I was the youngest of 4. My mom and dad coached kind of all of us or just showed up and volunteered. And so I was really fortunate that, my mom was behind the bench of our boys teams, opening up the gate and modeling for me in many ways, which, I look back on now that you could do anything, and maybe in untraditional spaces or in ways she just showed up and was a leader. She's a teacher. And she gave her time and energy in so many ways to sacrifice for us kids to do what we loved. And so, I can't think of any moments where my mom and dad didn't just fully jump on board to take us to the tournament or, like I said, drop us off at the rink to have some fun and skate and play and burn some energy. But they're huge pieces in my journey. I would definitely not be where I am today had, my mom and dad not modeled what it took and the sacrifice that it would take along the way.
How obviously, like you're speaking about playing with the boys and times have changed so much. I know I have a daughter in it and Barney has a daughter in it. The girls that play hockey now and the progress, I'll say, in that, like how proud are you of that? Because you obviously had a big hand in that. You were kind of a trailblazer in that area.
I mean, the game has come so far to even imagine the option to play girls or boys hockey. That wasn't an option for me. And I wouldn't trade it for any other way. I think that it shaped me in so many ways, but just to know that the game has grown and is for everybody. And whether you want to do it on a competitive level, on a AA, a minor hockey league level, a AAA, like there is an avenue for everybody to find their joy and love for the game. And I think knowing that now, I truly believe that I have a huge privilege in what I get to do because I'm now modeling something that I know young girls can see themselves with a new career. And people ask me all the time, when did it shift for you? Or when did you imagine coaching in the National Hockey League? I'm like, I didn't. That was never a thing. I wasn't, honestly, until 2020, till I was coaching NHL players as a skating coach. That's when I'm like, wait a minute. This can happen, or I could potentially do this. And, that's just a testament to really the growth of our game and the opportunities. And I'm extremely proud. And, you speak to having daughters. It's so amazing to know that young girls now can see themselves in the game at the highest level, just like boys.
We ask almost everybody, especially the Sasky players that we've had and coaches, is when you go back to your parents, did they push, there's obviously the nature over nurture. And Shane and I know, right? We see it. We've probably been the psycho hockey parents at times where we're trying to push and we're trying to instill it. And my wife being an educator, like how the brain works for kids, it's different. We were pushed as kids in the 80s and 90s. How were your parents and what do you remember about them in those formative years?
Yeah, I think we had a balance of both. you speak to the 80s and 90s, I think that was what I knew too. We were pushed, and people always ask me, how'd you end up in hockey? I'm like, I don't know if I had a choice. So that might answer your question right there. I was walking and having skates on my feet at the same time. So, but I loved it. But I know my sister and I talk about this a lot because we both had college careers, and we kind of laugh now as grown adults, but she has kids, and we're like, well, would you have done things differently? And, for me, what I was really fortunate with my parents was just that they saw that I loved it. And so then they kind of fed it piece by piece of, hey, you have to play other sports. Like we played baseball all summer. We didn't play hockey year round. Like I never played summer hockey and traveled, to the big city and did all that. I played baseball, and that helped me as an athlete. And I think it also was a way for me to learn that you have to be more than just a hockey player. And that was something, I don't know whether my parents strategically did or not, but they still pushed us to get involved in other things, whether it was school or not. But I will say this, my mom, she's a teacher, and she's still teaching today in Rocanville. And anyone from Melville would know my mom was, billet coordinator for the Millionaires. She got her hands on everything she could to get involved with hockey. But she showed up at the gym, opened up the key to the school, and she would have us run back and forth, jump up and down. Like we were doing little training sessions when we were 10, 12 years old. So I guess you could say she pushed us hard, but I loved it because it was something to do.
Your dad, Gary, right?
Yes, Gary.
Was he a senior hockey guy or anything in Rocanville?
He, I don't even know if he played senior hockey there. I mean, he's been in Rocanville forever, but he's always been involved in hockey. He coached my brothers. He even coached, with the Saskatchewan Hockey Association. Now he's doing some scouting, and he's retired. So, yeah, honestly, I've always taken the knowledge and wisdom from my dad with hockey because he's kind of the balance to my mom. He's always very he's very concise and clear on what's happening. He's not so much, this is my kid's story and situation. He's very much in tune with what the hockey culture is and coaching and everything. So he's always really, really good for me, informative for me in terms of keeping me very much level-headed, where my mom's always like encouraging and pushing and challenging. And so there's this good level-headedness that I get from my dad's wisdom and just, kind of composure.
Opening up the gym to do plyos like the Soviet Union. I love it.
Yeah.
Air conditioning.
They pulled up a video on CBC. I don't know, a couple prior to it. I seen it a lot this past year. I'm like, holy, I think we're in Fort Capel. I don't even know where the heck we were, but my mom was yelling. I'm like, I actually sound like my mother. So here we are.
So with you, obviously your first year coaching in the NHL and stuff like that, but do you have those aspirations or those thoughts in your mind to be like, you know what, maybe someday I can be a head coach in the NHL?
Yeah. I mean, I've been asked this question before, and I don't see why not. That's the path I'm on. I'm trying to be a better coach every single day. I've never really had a clear plan, and I'm not really setting out to have a clear plan. I think that's kept me grounded in just growing as a person and as a coach. Definitely I want to win. That's first and foremost. I want to win a Stanley Cup. That's kind of my next milestone and goal. And in whatever capacity that I'm involved as a coach, whether it's assistant coach or taking a different step, but I don't see why not. Our game is growing every single day, and I'm growing every single day. So to say that I can't do it, I would be taking a step backwards.
Your coaching journey and player development and power skating and all that, isn't there a tie with like Damon Sievertson and Brent Seabrook in there somehow?
Yeah. So when I started, really honestly, and I've told Damon this, we've crossed paths in so many ways now, but when COVID hit, I actually moved over to Europe, to Sweden. I started my skating business, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. And, at that time I thought the goal was to be a skating skills coach in the NHL. So for me, I set off to do that. And when I returned home from Sweden, COVID hit, and Damon actually reached out to me because it was the odd COVID bubble, playoff year. Interesting enough, Jersey wasn't in the playoffs, but Damon reached out saying, "Hey, Jeff, do you have ice? I got, a couple guys that would love to come skate and, whatever." So for me, I was doing it. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And, I think he brought out Joel Edmondson, James Reimer, Jordan Martinook, and Damon. And I had this group of NHL guys. And that's honestly what catapulted everything, because from Damon came Luke Shen, Andrew Ladd, Shea Weber. Then obviously Brent showed up. And those guys were huge, huge, huge for my development, because at the time I knew what I was doing. I knew my approach. I was just fueled strictly on passion and what I had learned along the way and studied and put together my plan and my method. And I was just following it. And I really had everything to gain, nothing to lose, but experience.
Yeah.
And in addition to Damon, there was younger guys like Matt Barzell. Some of the more, up and coming younger skill guys were showing up as well, and these veteran guys. And that's when it became really clear to me that I could coach at this level, that I could do it, because I was doing it on my own, and they were showing up, paying for my services and interested in it. And so, full circle, I look back on those days and people ask me, when did it become clear for you that you did, or the dream was realized to coach in the NHL? And it was actually skating that group of guys on my 27th birthday. I think there was a group of 25 of them, where they asked me to come out and skate the whole group because COVID restrictions lifted and we could have that many more on the ice. And Brent, I was doing one-on-ones with Brent, rehabbing his hip, his skating, all of his mobility and stuff from a surgery. And he said to me, it's a matter of time, but you're going to coach in the NHL. You're doing it right now, and just stick with it. And that's when I'm like, all right, you just gave me permission to believe in something that's never been done. And whether it happens or not, it's irrelevant. It's just now I have some clarity that I can do this.
Again, if you want to hear that full interview, it's fantastic. Episode 234, the Monday Nooner podcast, anywhere you listen to podcasts. She goes through, I guess, some of the mentors, some of the people in her life from Saskatchewan that mean so much. The unfortunate, tragic passing of her brother, how they got through that, how she's kind of living on his memory, doing what she does, if you want to catch that. Tegan and I will be back. It is the Sports Cage. We are streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. We're on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan on National Female in Sport Day, 620 CKRM.
Canada's Conservatives have put forward a bill that will unlock our nation's true potential by rewarding those who build and invest in Canada. The Canadian Sovereignty Act introduces measures such as the Canada First Reinvestment Tax Cut to eliminate capital gains tax on reinvestments in Canada, ensuring that money stays here and builds our great economy. My name is Warren Steinley, your Conservative Member of Parliament for Regina Louvain, and I will always be on Saskatchewan's side.
Paid ad by Warren Steinley.
Did you know over 1.3 million homeowners call on Reliance for their water heater needs? With over 150,000 five-star online reviews and over 60 years experience, you could say Reliance Heath are water heater experts. Switch to Reliance Heath today. They'll give you $200 for all your hot water needs.
Call on Reliance.
Visit waterheaterrentals.com for details. Terms and conditions apply.
If you have a garage door that's running a little rough, you should really have Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists, come out and repair it. Or it may need to be replaced altogether. Yeah, just call Busy Bee Doors, the local experts who have been in the business for many, many years, because they can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
Honey, calling Busy Bee.
Good idea. Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Switch to Reliance today and get $200 cash back with your new water heater. Some conditions apply. Call on Reliance.
Saskatchewan Roughriders signed veteran linebacker Josh Woods today. He spent the previous 5 seasons with the British Columbia Lions, suiting up 55 regular season games, recording 152 defensive tackles, 25 special team tackles, 3 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 1 tutty. Western Hockey League tonight, Saskatchewan teams. Moose Jaw is in Swift Current. The PA Raiders play host to Calgary. SJHL, we have a makeup game. Estevan's in Yorkton. Also, Weyburn travels into Nipawin Kindersley's at Warman. PJHL. Pilot Butte Storm, 8 p.m. They welcome the Moosomin Steelhawks. Saskatchewan Midget AAA Boys Loop. Estevan Bears home to the Notre Dame Hounds. The U18 girls. Weyburn Gold Wings are at the Regina Rebels, 7:30 here in Regina. Senior A, big one, Wynyard. Is there a bus leaving? Let me know. Keniston's in Wynyard, 8 p.m. NHL, New York Rangers traded 34-year-old sniper Artemi Panarin. He removed his no-trade clause. Why wouldn't you? Because he's going to Los Angeles. National Hockey League tonight, Montreal's in Winnipeg, Edmonton at Calgary, and Vancouver. Probably in tough against Vegas. Also from the Olympics, Canada beat Czechia 10-5 in mixed curling. It is for our friends at Reliance. Sign up right now. Get a water heater, $200 cash back. Some conditions apply. Call on Reliance. Hour 2 on National Women in Sport Day. We have Eric Francis joining us. We'll talk about women's hockey with Eric Francis. Tegan's with me. Colson's over there. We'll be back after news.
Winter driving is easy, unless you want to stop, or start, or turn a corner. On snow and ice, that takes the right tires. And the right tires are at Quality Tire. Winter tires give you the grip you need to brake faster, handle better, and stay in control when the roads don't cooperate. Don't leave your safety to all-season guesswork. Get ready for real winter driving at Quality Tire, trusted for the road ahead, with 9 locations across Saskatchewan.
QualityTire.ca.
Hey, Straight Guy, I'm back.
Cal, where have you been? You've been out for hours.
Grab that full-size mirror over there and get in here.
Oh, mother of all that is holy, you look like a sheep that needs to be sheared.
Huh?
Like a prize show poodle gone very wrong.
I spent all day at the spa for this. It's February, Straight Guy.
What?
February. It's when I grow my hair out for months for a needy cause, then shave it off.
What are you raising money for?
For me. Looking to take a nice holiday somewhere. All expenses paid by generous donors.
In town, out of town, for the best for your pet, it's gotta be Cowtown. Toys and treats to healthy food options, and quality ingredients can lead to a nice shiny coat. Like Cow over there.
I heard that.
Cowtown Canada on Facebook.
I think I'll go somewhere nice, someplace I've never been.
Here's a brochure. You should go to this place. It's called Abattoir.
Ooh, French. Sounds fancy.
Hi, I'm Barbie. I'm terrified of bees. Ah! But I'm not afraid of fast internet from Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer. Get away! With SaskTel's super fast speeds, I can stream, shop, and video chat without anything buzzing around. Except my phone. And thanks to reliable Wi-Fi, even my smart doorbell warns me if a bee comes near. Technology 1, bees 0. So if you want fast, reliable internet without the sting, get connected. Contact Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Moosomin today.
Winter in Saskatchewan tests everything, our patience, vehicles, and sometimes our bumpers. From icy parking lot dings to serious highway mishaps, choosing local matters. At Regina Motor Products Collision Center, we're Saskatchewan owned, run, and we drive these roads too. An SGI accredited full service collision center working on all makes and models. Submit your SGI claim and book your appraisal. It's easy. When you need repairs you can trust, it's neighbors helping neighbors. Regina Motor Products Collision Center, south at Highways 1 and 6 Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
We are 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station. Streaming online at 620CKRM.com.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Tanner Wallace-Scribner from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with 620 CKRM News for Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090. A 33-year-old woman is the third person charged in a homicide investigation that began January 19th in Regina. Police say officers tried to stop a vehicle that fled, and the body of 56-year-old Michael Ross was found inside. Investigators arrested Shyla Keewatin on February 3rd and charged her with first-degree murder and indignity to a dead body. 2 men also face related charges. Keewatin appears in court this afternoon, and police continue to investigate and are asking anyone with information to come forward. A local Regina brewery is focusing on sustainability by recapturing CO2. District Brewing Marketing Coordinator Hayden McPherson explained how they utilize a carbon capture machine.
The CO2 that's released during the fermentation of our beers, and it captures it and it filters it to 99.9% clear, and then we reuse that CO2 instead of it just being released into the atmosphere.
McPherson says the device captures 80,000 metric tons of CO2, comparable to nearly 20 gas vehicles emitting CO2 yearly. A man charged in an April 2024 Estevan shooting investigation appeared in court on February 2nd, where a new report found him fit to stand trial. 24-year-old William Joshua Curtis had earlier been declared unfit and sent to a Saskatchewan hospital. A fitness hearing is now scheduled for March 27th. Curtis faces 10 charges, including attempted murder, firearm offenses, and aggravated assault. Police say he was arrested after barricading himself in a home, and he currently remains in custody. The Regina Farmers Market has announced that its Saturday outdoor market will return to downtown in 2026, with both Wednesday and Saturday markets operating at City Square. The decision follows construction completion and community engagement last fall, including a survey with more than 1,700 responses showing strong support for the downtown location. Executive Director Holly Laird says customers clearly want the market back at its longtime home. The board says downtown atmosphere, walkability, and transit access were key factors, despite some vendors preferring easier setup elsewhere. The outdoor season runs May 2nd to October 10th, with a tomato festival on October 1st. Organizers say more accessibility improvements are coming this year. That's 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sastoday.ca and 620ckrm.com.
Winter's coming. Is your home ready? At Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, they install high-efficiency brine furnaces that keep your family cozy while saving energy and money. Their professional team takes care of everything, from installation to long-term service, so your home stays warm for years to come. Call 781-2090 or visit broncoplumbing.com today. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, and Bryant, whatever it takes.
Brought to you by Line X Regina, Serious Protection, Killer Lux, 1865 McCarra Street. Tonight, partly cloudy and a low down to 0. Tomorrow, mainly sunny and mild, a high of +8. It will be a little bit breezy out of the northwest, 20 gusting to 40. Tomorrow night, becoming cloudy. Flurries in the area, low down to -3. Friday, partly sunny, a high of +2. Saturday, mostly cloudy, a high of 0. And Sunday, partly sunny, a high of 4. Currently, in downtown Regina, partly cloudy sky, it is +2.
For 40 years, the team from Line X Regina has been protecting vehicles across Saskatchewan, and we're changing with the times. 3 generations of our family have protected your vehicles. Our business has evolved, and we're not stopping now. The next generation is here. Same family, same commitment, ready for the next generation of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards in all kinds of colors. Line X Regina, 1865 McCarra Street, the next generation of protective coatings.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Regina Motor Products. RMP Winter Tires at Cost event on now until March 31st when you purchase a set of 4 tires. Visit RMP online or in person today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of the Sports Cage on National Women in Sports Day. Tegan Whitco's with me.
Good day.
Colson's here. Yeah. That was a good hour. A little Daniella Ponticelli getting ready to call Olympic hockey from
Ontario.
Is that what she was going to say?
Yeah.
Somewhere in Ontario. Have you ever called anything like that?
Like play-by-play? No.
On a screen?
No.
Yeah, I did it once.
That's intimidating.
You really, obviously, like anything, you got to be like your research. If you got your research, and then the thing with play-by-play, the sneaky thing. So I think Dave and Luke, I'm giving them all the secrets here. I think on home games, they have the stat guy, the spotter. What's his name? What's his name? You know this, Coulson. Great guy. He sits there and he spots and stats, and then he slides him the info. And then I think on the road, though, they're on their own. Obviously, yes, the road games are much harder.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're also out of sorts. You're not in your regular spot. And some of the stadiums aren't as great to work in.
Back when I was a young broadcaster and I wanted to go places in this world, I remember doing lots of job shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just always be like, hey, can I come in? So I got to watch a couple of pretty, I guess, high-end play-by-play people do their thing. Luckily.
You going to name drop anybody?
But I probably shouldn't. And then I was like, cocky in your 20s a little bit. And I'm like, well, they're just giving you all the stats. I'm not thinking that in my head.
Right.
I'm like, I thought they researched and all that. And I'm like, all you're doing is, so you need that. So then, like Monday Night Football, any night, they would have a number of these people helping. We should ask Suits actually tomorrow how many they have.
Well, and they would have someone in their ear as well.
IFB for sure.
Yeah, they're feeding you all the information as you're going, because especially if you're on the sidelines. I know that TSN does that.
Yeah,
they'll feed the information down to the sidelines because it's a little difficult, especially in Saskatchewan.
Yeah,
raining, winds blowing. It's hard to write things
or just little tidbits.
Yep.
No one's done that since 1988. No one's returned a kick, and then you're listening, and boom, and then you reveal it.
Yep.
But it's so much harder when you're on your own. So WHL guys, James Gallo.
Oh, very well.
I had to call a couple dub games back in the day. I was full of piss and vinegar.
For who? Which teams?
Broncos.
Really?
Go Bronx.
Are you allowed back in the city?
Oh yeah. Lots of fun. But then if you're doing it without a color guy like Les Lazaruk, I think James does it. No color guy as well. You're crazy.
It's a lot of talking.
It is a lot, and hockey, like we talked about, it's moving so fast. You gotta go. There's no lull. But my favorite, the word I had to do baseball once. I'm like, never again. Football. I love play-by-play of football.
Yeah.
Right, because of strategy and everything.
And you're up high, you can see the play developing.
Yes.
So you typically have a better view of it than most people, even watching on TV, right? Because they'll zone in to where the football is and where the play is going, but you don't see what's happening in the backfield unless you're live.
And it's tricky. And Dave would talk, echo this, is there's still times when they do like bootlegs and they're doing play actions, you think you got to know who's got the ball. Mm-hmm. It's hard. And so she's going to be calling the games off monitors, and she'll do a fantastic job, and the team and all that. But I was like, I think you could do curling off monitors fairly easy.
Well, curling's a bit different.
You don't need to be in. You could do curling. You could set up at the Elephant Bar in Ellsbury and call curling off the monitor in there.
You could do it from the studio here, Barney. Come on.
Yeah.
Submit your application.
There we go. We need the fridge. And the old fashioned again from last mountain, which is all gone.
Yeah, work on that fridge.
Did you get that picture, by the way, Coulson? Okay. We've got to talk about that. This is our only male guest of the day. Very handsome gentleman, Eric Francis.
Now for Inside the NHL with Eric Francis on the Sports Cage. Inside the NHL is brought to you by Sports Select. Getting in on more of the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportsselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer.
Hey, you use moisturizer.
Yeah, when you move out west and you live in the middle of nowhere here, you gotta have the moisturizer. Yeah, absolutely. But not until I moved out here. Is that what we're talking about today? Are we just talking about conditioner and moisturizer? Lip balm?
Yeah. Hell of a way to start the conversation there.
That's terrible.
It's crazy. Have you ever called play-by-play? Hockey?
No. Years ago when the Hitmen first came to town, I remember Mike Toth was the play-by-play guy. he asked me to come and do color. And I kind of heard a little bit of your conversation before. I just thought, well, I cover the team. I'm here every day. I didn't do one single minute of prep. I thought that just by being here every day and knowing the team really well, I'd be set. But you see the guys who are doing color, and they all have these. It's actually be really cool, a photo essay, all the different boards that they have, or big, cardboard. Everyone's got a different way of kind of in every single box is a player and 2 or 3 bits of information and their stats and their height and their weight. And no, they've got it down to a science. So if you walk in cold just thinking you could just ramble off a few things about every player, you're sadly mistaken.
When you think of women's hockey in Canada, and then obviously the battle with the U.S., is there a game, is there a moment that immediately comes to mind?
Yeah, the women's gold medal final, and I don't remember which year it was, where I think the American referee called 13 penalties on Canada, and maybe like 2 on the Americans. It was the most, like I rarely, you'll never see me write about bad officiating or anything like that, but that would have been, if I was writing about that game, I was watching as a fan, I'm like I generally think that when people complain about the officiating, they're just delusional into thinking that a ref is actually biased against their team. Like, it's the most ridiculous notion. But in that game, it was so egregious. It was so overwhelmingly anti-Canadian, whatever you want to call it, that game comes to mind. All their gold medal games are great, but that one is the one that comes to mind.
2024 IIHF World Junior Championship, I believe.
World Junior?
No, it was women.
Oh, it was women?
It was women.
Okay.
It was the women's
Google's
game.
taking me the wrong area. Hold on.
Never trust Google.
Okay, go ahead. Colson, let's keep researching that.
Okay.
Is that Google's male skewed? Is it? That's terrible. No, it shouldn't do that. Damn it.
Shouldn't do that. Should we talk a little Flames, or we don't want to stick with women's hockey?
I'll go back to women's hockey after.
I know
you're very curious on this Flames thing.
I am, because I'm going to be honest, my fiance was just in Calgary. He watched that Flames-Leafs game Monday night. He was having the worst time as a Flames fan in that first period. But when he came home, the first question I had to ask him, what do you think of Parekh? So I want to see what your thoughts are. I know that you wrote a piece on him and how he's going to fit into the Flames roster. So tell us a little bit more about that.
It is interesting that you asked that, because I've been pretty down on Parekh. Like, not on a personal level. I think the kid's an amazing kid. He's always smiling. He's good, full of energy. Like, I love what he brings. Because of the CBA, the only league he could basically play in this year was the NHL, which is an egregious disservice to this young man. That said, he's been over his head all year long in the NHL, and the team recognized it right away, to the point where they actually thought it was dangerous to have him in the lineup because he was getting bashed around. He's undersized. He's not ready for the speed, the size. However, that stint at the World Juniors, combined with his recent AHL conditioning stint, helped him get his swagger back, his moxie, and I thought he fit in brilliantly the other night. Like, I'm not saying he was a first or second star, but I'm saying he fit in like an NHLer, and I have not seen any semblance of that up until that point. So that is a huge new starting point for him now that he's got a little bit more experience and time on his side. I'm really suddenly quite optimistic that he's going to be able to turn this around sooner rather than later.
There's no way.
Did your fiance feel the same way?
He liked what he saw.
Yeah.
I mean, not with the result of the game. I mean, they lost to the Leafs, so
I was
that's
hoping
never
you were
good.
going to say he was throw jersey on the ice guy.
No, we're not quite that intense. Jerseys are expensive,
if he's a
Barney.
Flames fan, he should love what he saw the other night, because they played well. It was a close game. The fans got their money's worth, and they lost. Like, if they do that 27 more times from now to the end of the season, it'll work out real well for this organization long term.
No mushy middle. No, but did you get the T-shirts? Did you get the T-shirts made, by the way?
They're at the printers. Yeah.
What was there anything close today? Any inside baseball for us before the trade freeze from the Flames?
No, talking to people around the league, it was pretty clear that, like, a lot of teams that are looking to make a trade just didn't want to take on, like, didn't want to make the deals before. If they could have, they would have. But in a lot of cases, they just didn't want to take on the extra salary, because these guys get back like a week before the Olympics. So So you're still paying these guys during the break, and these guys just didn't want to take on the additional cost that, the contenders looking to add guys at the deadline. So there was nothing imminent, certainly in Calgary. They knew that. And turns out around the league, I don't think there was anything that was really close to happening.
So why don't we talk a little bit about Sam Bennett now that he's going to be off to the Olympics? How does he fit in? I know that you're awfully familiar with Sam Bennett's game. He should have been there from the get-go. We all know that.
That's right. And you know what? When Barney and I spoke, when they announced the team, I said the one thing I didn't like was the omission of Sam Bennett. And I understood that Tom Wilson's having a better year and is a bigger nuclear deterrent and scores more goals. Like he's Sam Bennett on steroids, and I'm not accusing him actually of being on steroids. But
clip
you know
that,
what I mean?
Clip that first short
That's the
later.
short.
Clip that. Yeah. That's all I need. Tom Wilson hating my guts. Oh, my God.
Imagine how many tests he's going to have to do when he gets over to Italy.
Random.
Yeah, my fault. Sorry about that. But I'm glad. Look, I really like Anthony Cirelli. A lot of people, I think he shouldn't have been on the team. I think he should. And so I'm sad for him, and I think it's a loss. But I do think Sam Bennett is the perfect remedy to that hole now in their lineup. And on a real side note, I'm really happy for him. Like you guys tell me, you saw the First Nations tournament. He did nothing to play his way off of that roster. In fact, all he did was answer the bell in every way possible, scoring in the final game, fighting Brady Tkachuk, playing roles that he's not normally playing. Like, this guy deserves to be there, and I'm so thrilled for him.
For sure. How scary was that for Canadian fans last night, though, when they show Sidney Crosby taking that stick where right away I'm like hernia or groin, and then it ends up, okay, it's nothing.
You sent me a text last night saying Crosby hurt. That's all you sent. And look, I normally...
I forgot about that.
Just 2 words.
Yeah. That's all. And then you went radio silent the rest of the night. So I immediately get on my phone. And it's funny because I never... Like, you become numb to it as a guy in this business for so long. Like, when guys get hurt and everything, you don't want good people to lose their jobs or get hurt. But that one, as a Canadian, I was like, that's actually significant. And I was immediately on the internet trying to find out anything I could about this salacious rumor that you started in Saskatchewan. And luckily, apparently he left the game twice with apparent injuries. So that's quite a scare. And tonight, McDavid's in town with the Flames. And, I think everyone's going to be watching. Every time he gets hit, everyone will be like holding their breath as well. So just 1 or 2 more nights we got to get through. So hopefully nobody gets hurt.
And you can pile on that, on me starting the rumor about Crosby, just to take away from your Wilson steroid thing. So go ahead.
Yeah. So clip that, Colson.
Pile on. I was saying today, and I think before we went on the air, it's like, I wonder if there's going to be any text messages shared. Not that the Oiler guys and the Flames guys are very close, but it's like, hey, how about we throw a no-hitter tonight and just everybody get onto that airplane, whatever country you're from, A-OK.
Think about it. Connor McDavid is going to go from villain to hero in this city alone anyway in the next 24 hours. Tonight, everyone's going to be booing him. Everyone's going to be dreaming of a big Kevin Ball blast on him like he gave earlier this season. But you wouldn't want to be known as the guy who knocked Connor McDavid out of the Olympics. Like, you play hard and what happens, happens. But my God, you'd hate for that to be on anybody, on McDavid, on Kevin Ball, or anybody who might be part of something like that. So you just cross your fingers tonight.
Things were quiet for the Flames heading into this Olympic break, but we did see Panarin move to the Kings.
Funny you say that because I just got back from the Flames practice. I hadn't even heard that. Is it a done deal?
Yeah, looks like the reports came through earlier today. Yeah, Panarin off to L.A.
Well, did he sign an extension too?
I don't think I saw an extension. Did you lead your stories off at Flames practice though? Did you hear that Crosby got hurt?
Yeah, that's it. So
my buddy in Saskatchewan said.
Is this report coming from Barney, or is it a real story about Panarin? Like, I don't know what to believe right now.
You just never believe. You never believe Barney.
He signed a 2-year extension.
2 years, 11 mil average.
Wow. Wow. Okay, that surprises me because I thought he was looking to get paid, in the neighborhood of 15, 16 million. And I certainly thought he was looking to sign a deal that would get him into his 40s. But, I guess he really wanted to be out badly and everybody wanted this to end. And I'm surprised he signed just a 2-year deal for, I'm not going to say that's a bargain of a price because he is getting older and he's slowing down considerably. But man, good for the LA Kings.
Where does he fit there? You watch the Kings enough. They're they're out in the West. Where do you think that fits with what the Kings are doing this year after a very disappointing first round last year?
Yeah, well, they need goals, right? The Kings are one of the lowest scoring teams in the league. They've got a really good, solid defensive style game. They win games like the Flames do, 3-2, 2-1. But if they're going to make any sort of noise, they're going to have to try and score with some of the big boys. What is it? 4 or 5 years in a row they've lost to the Oilers. Feels like 20 years in a row they've lost to the Oilers. And yeah, the only way to beat the Oilers is to have some semblance of goal scoring in your lineup as well. So I'm sure that's kind of what they're thinking as well. And it also seems like the window for that's a highly tradable contract. If the Kings, they're going to lose Andrei Kopitar at the end of this season, and you get him in their fold, it doesn't work out this year, you start to flip him, and I think you get a considerable amount in return. So it's starting to make more sense as I digest it, if in fact this is a true story.
Okay, I'm not going to talk to you really until I'm on holidays, so it's a while. Let's go. You owe me 24 beer or equivalent, which I'm gonna say has been paid when you bought me drinks and nachos in Calgary there. So that's all. But let's go again here. Prediction. You got Colson. Colson just hit his head on the screen. Let's get his book out. Let's go top 3. So gold, silver, bronze finish at the Olympics, and closest guy to has a hefty bill coming his way early April.
I hate this. I'm wincing because I'm going to make my prediction before anyone gets really mad at me. I'm going to base it on fear. And I've long feared for 30 years that the day would come that the Americans would overtake Canada and probably do so for good because of just a simple population and the game spreading across the country. And I just feel like it's the Americans' turn. And I hate to say it, and I pray to God I pay you whatever this tab is. But I'm saying Americans first, Canada second, Sweden third.
You got that, Colson?
I don't really like that, to be honest.
I hate it. I hate that I said that out loud, but I'm scared. It's going to happen one day.
I'm going to go Canada, USA, Czechia.
It's a pretty safe one.
But if gold trumps on everything, so if Canada wins gold and you take, it doesn't matter. The third doesn't matter. You still owe me, and then vice versa.
What are we betting? What's the bet?
Mushy middle t-shirts.
It's probably a few rounds at the golf course that we're going to play in April. If you win, I will take you to Slots of Fun for a burger and a beer. Way down the strip there. How's that? They got $1.50 beer and $1.50 Bud Light. That's fair.
You know what?
You got that Alberta money, man. You got that Alberta money. Like, I don't have that. I'm in Saskatchewan.
No. Yeah, we got so much of it here. Yeah, I'm happy to bring a bunch. I think Saskatchewan's doing all right these days too. But I'll play along and I'll pretend that our money is more plentiful here. Any wager that gets paid out in Vegas is always a fantastic idea, right? Because no matter what it is, it doesn't feel like you're paying it out. You're just spending money in Vegas that you really don't want to account for anyway. So I'm in.
It is. It's like, I don't know, whatever.
That's the most agreeable I've seen you be all day.
It's vague. You get on the plane and you feel like all debts are off. It's like, that doesn't really travel back with me. It stays here, doesn't it? I don't know. Okay, yeah. Do you have that picture, Colson? This is when I think, and anybody watching the stream that's in our demographic, I guess, You might remember the 1990 Women's World Hockey Championships. Canada wins. Look at those unis and look at those pants. When I think of women's hockey in Canada and I go back, I was like, what year was that where they wore all white? Do you remember that, Eric?
I do remember that. And over the years, Team Canada's flirted every once in a while with a look that makes the whole country go, what? What are you doing? That was one of the first ones that I remember thinking, my God, you're really going to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
bad memories.
And then that was right around the time. You can take this off the screen, Colson. It's disturbing. There was around the time that the men's team wore blue pants.
Yeah,
it was like
it's a choice.
It was You see, you're probably too young. Definitely, Colson is. They wore the red with the half maple leaf, like the Canada Cup, and then it was blue pants. I'm like,
quite shocking. I look back at it now, and I don't hate it because it reminds me of that era and that time with the Canada Cup and such. But yeah, at the time, again, very controversial, quite shocking. What are your thoughts on the black uniforms for Team Canada? Because that really raised everybody's eyebrows.
Italy. I don't know what Barney thinks about them. The all black jerseys.
I think they might wear them once, maybe twice. I can't see them wearing it often. Or what do you think?
Yeah, look, you got to sell jerseys, and it's all about third jerseys and having as many options as possible. So they'll definitely commit to wearing it once, but they better not wear it in the gold medal game. Hoping they get there.
Yeah,
they will. They will.
What about the Finns?
Finns are good. You could have said as your third pick the Finns. You could have said the Czechs. You could have said the Swedes. You could have said the Americans. I would say it's a 5-team tournament.
No Germany, no Swiss.
No, not Swiss. Like the Swiss
They're always
not doing
sneaky.
anything. Slovaks don't have the depth. Like nobody's. Look, I'm not saying one of those bottom 3 or 4 teams can't, get a surprise win here or there or scare a big team. But they're not meddling. They're not finishing in the top 3.
Okay. Speaking of the 90s, if you're watching the stream, this is always going to be epic.
My God.
We are keeping this in our... this might be how I show up in Vegas, actually. This on a T-shirt. I know this guy. Oh, if you're missing out, if you're watching the stream, a young Eric Francis by his mom's Corvette in his beer league Los Angeles Kings jersey, tucked into a pair of Bugle Boys.
It's pretty
Bugle Boys. And don't forget the slick gelled hair. That was kind of new at the time for men to be putting gel in their hair. Way too much, by the way. And it's a turtleneck, a white turtleneck / dickie. We're not going down that road again, but my God, what a look. I can't believe it.
I love that.
It's pretty iconic. Own it.
Yeah.
Print him a T-shirt too.
I'll never forget wearing something almost identical to that, driving down the street. I was not speeding, but a cop pulled me over and gave me an egregious ticket. And honestly, if I could just fill in the blanks for what the charge really should have been, it's just bad judgment. Just poor choice of clothing and hairstyle and all that, and attitude. It had nothing to do with the way I was driving the car, but I couldn't fight it in court.
Pull out tape deck, probably, in that Corvette.
No, the Corvette had a standard sweet little ride.
Factory.
Yeah.
Factory. Right on.
What's the song? Right. Get your motor running, head out on the highway.
That looks more like you were playing Bobby Brown, I would say. That's more of a Bobby Brown get-up. Color Me Bad, maybe?
There was a Belle Biv DeVoe tape in that car a lot.
Poison.
Yeah, Poison.
Yeah. That's good music right there. Okay, well, have fun on your holiday with all that Berta money. And then we don't talk for like 2 weeks. I'll keep you up to date on all the injuries in the NHL, though.
Just frantically texting.
Yeah. You are my source, so thank you. I'll be in Cabo, and I'll tell the good people, hey, straight out of Saskatchewan, I'm hearing X, Y, and Z. Thanks.
Breaking news.
See ya. Travel safe. See ya.
Yeah, enjoy your holiday. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Take care.
Eric Francis is brought to you by Sports Select. You can simply make your picks online now. Generate your QR code. Lock it in at your Lotto Spot retailer. Every bet is 100% legal. You must be 18 plus to play. Play responsibly. Bet on the original Sports Select. There's a bunch of games tonight when we get to Sprinkle of the Day to play.
10 in the NHL, I think, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing about tonight. Where's my trusty list here of NHL teams. Here, I'll ask you some trivia.
Oh,
what NHL team? Well, now this is up to 10. Has the most players playing in the Olympics? It's now up to 10, I think.
Up to 10.
Because it was 9. It's a huge hint.
Oh, gosh. Barney.
Sam Bennett's team.
Yeah, Florida Panthers.
Yes. Followed by
defending Stanley Cup champs, I know.
They might miss the playoffs this year.
I know.
Tampa Bay Lightning
That's how the times change.
Colorado. So the teams that have won, the New York Islanders, the Chicago Blackhawks. Maybe that's maybe the team that you sprinkle on tonight. Because those guys, it's like, let's play hard, and then we're going to the beach. Chicago.
Go out with a bang.
Utah has 1. San Jose 2. We'll have to get to that when we do Sprinkle of the Day. Oh, that was fun. Eric Francis.
You still went off the rails. I thought you said that was only Fridays.
We didn't really go off the rails.
You kind of went off the rails a little bit.
That was pretty tame.
Was that tame?
Yeah.
Pulling up the Corvette picture. And
he's not on anymore. He logged off, right? He's not there. I hope this show falls on a Halloween next year. Because I'm dressing up as Eric Francis in that jersey and turtleneck and those jeans.
You think you're going to be able to find that retro jersey?
Yeah, There's some beer league. I'll go to Play It Again Sports. They'll have it.
Or eBay or something.
Yeah.
You'll find it.
It's the Sportscage. We'll be right back.
Halloween's a Saturday this year.
Ah, boo.
What's going on in the markets? When is the right time to invest? What should you do with your money today? When Margaret had questions, she talked to Brian Golly.
He's very personable, professional, and keeps you confident in what he's doing.
Don't guess with your money this RRSP season. Call Brian Golly at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
I would not hesitate to recommend him to friend, relative, or anybody else.
Winter in Saskatchewan tests everything, our patience, vehicles, and sometimes our bumpers. From icy parking lot dings to serious highway mishaps, choosing local matters. At Regina Motor Products Collision Center, we're Saskatchewan owned, run, and we drive these roads too. An SGI accredited full-service collision center working on all makes and models. Submit your SGI claim and book your appraisal. It's easy. When you need repairs you can trust, it's neighbors helping neighbors. Regina Motor Products Collision Center, south at Highways 1 and 6 Albert Street, rmpchevrolet.com.
Get it hot and get it fast, Western Pizza.
After shuttling the kids to hockey, dance, piano, and what was next? Sumo wrestling? The last thing you want to do is cook. Imagine this instead. Piping hot Western pizza loaded with cheese, melty toppings, and that perfect crispy crust ready to hit the table in minutes. No chopping, no stirring, no mess. Just a warm, delicious reward for surviving the day. Western Pizza. Dine in or take out today before your stomach demands its own carpool.
And get it hot and get it fast, Western Pizza.
The Sports Cage Clutch Performer, brought to you by Kellen Solar. 35 years of experience, moving water from a dugout or well without electricity. Visit kellensolar.com to find out more about your livestock operation.
We kind of did Clutch Performer at the start of the show. I said absolute bogey on our part, but Clutch, Cougar men's hockey team on Friday went up to Saskatoon to Merlis Belcher Center, where allegedly they've never won. And they beat the U of S Huskies 5-4. It was Damon Cunningham in net, making 42 saves. So that is my first one. I know it is from last Friday, but I want to give credit where credit is due.
How about last night? College basketball?
The women?
Like, yeah, U of S.
Oh, 81-69. Colson's family was there.
Good crowd from the sounds of it?
Yeah, really good crowd. And it was tied at half? Colson said? Tied.
Or were they leading at half?
It was like a 4-point game and the Cougars were leading, I think.
81-69 the final. U of S moves to 18-0. The U of R 15-3 shout out last night. Scoring wise for the Cougar women, it was Jade Belmore, 17 points, 9 rebounds as well. And then Kara Miskey, who we had on the program last week, 17 points. So losing effort for the women, but they're getting geared up for the playoffs. They play McEwen to wrap things up regular season-wise this weekend, and then they should be hosting some playoff games. You want to do the Bird?
Yeah. I want to take the Bird. Bird is the word. Well, it was a bit of an issue last night when it came to Bo Horvat. He was going in behind the net, driving after the puck, and he noticed something hit his skate, and it was a bird inside the actual rink. So he was mic'd up for this as well. And I want to give Bo Horvat, the clutch performer, and the Bird. I feel like the Bird should have had an assist on that goal because he set it up nicely. But yeah, they...
Do you have the video?
In like 3 seconds.
3 seconds?
Finishing downloading.
Did you see them release the Bird today?
They actually did a release for it?
It was in a box.
Oh.
Opened it up.
Oh, it's a happy ending.
It could, you know what? Anything nowadays, you got to make sure it's not AI generated. It would look legit. But then they opened up the box and the bird flew the other way. And I was like, wouldn't that have been something if the bird would have flown right back into the rink? Been like, oh.
I want to go back in there.
Okay, here we go.
This is unreal.
Yeah, so it's Horvat to Palat, I do believe, and then Schaefer.
I ran into him. Dude, I ran into him behind the net. Poor guy.
It's poor guy.
Poor guy.
I thought it was a bat at first because I think a hockey rink, you know.
That wouldn't have been as adorable.
No, it looked like it was nice. What kind of bird would that be? I'm not up on my birds.
I am.
Sidney Crosby.
Little, small.
It was not a big bird.
No, it was very small. Clutch Performer, brought to you by Kellen Solar in Lumsden. Family-owned business, whatever you need solar, they can help you out. Kellen Solar. We're going to go to break. When we come back, Arielle Zerr from the Saskatchewan Roughriders will be with us on National Women in Sports Day. It is the Sportscage streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
The Early Bird Spring Sale is on now at Extreme Hockey and Sport. The entire store is 15 to 25% off. Brands like Yeti, CCM, Bauer, all clothing and apparel. If it's in stock, it's on sale, and it must go to make room for new product. All purchases in February qualify for a custom Yeti summer package valued at $5,000. Locally owned, community-focused Extreme Hockey and Sport. 1425 McIntyre Street, conveniently located at the Cooperator Center, and online at extremehockey.net.
You watched him on TV. He made you cheer. He made you chant. He made you celebrate moments you'll never forget. Now, see him live. Jeremy Roenick, NHL superstar and Hockey Hall of Famer in Yorkton for one unforgettable night. The stories you've never heard and memories you'll talk about forever. The Yorkton Terriers' 3rd annual Celebrity Sports Dinner, presented by the Kinsman Club of Yorkton, February 21st at St. Mary's Cultural Center. Tickets are limited. Don't just remember it, live it. Visit YorktonTerriers.com now.
Winter in Saskatchewan tests everything: our patience, vehicles, and sometimes our bumpers. From icy parking lot dings to serious highway mishaps, choosing local matters. At Regina Motor Products Collision Center, we're Saskatchewan owned, run, and we drive these roads too. An SGI accredited full-service collision center working on all makes and models. Submit your SGI claim and book your appraisal. It's easy. When you need repairs you can trust, it's neighbors helping neighbors. Regina Motor Products Collision Center, south at Highways 1 and 6 Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
Sportscage continues. You can watch our live stream at sportscage.com, on our YouTube channel, and always on the radio. Saskatchewan's voice for local sports. 620 CKRM.
Welcome back. It's for Regina Motor Products, where they have the Winter Tire at Cost event on now until March 31st. Visit RMP online or in person. Tegan Whitco's with me today. Colson is here on the other side of the board. It is National Women in Sports Day. We've had so far Daniella Ponticelli on, Jessica Campbell, Eric Francis, who's NHL Insider. We talked women's hockey there. Roscoe on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Salute to Teresa and Lorianne for the effort and time in getting people out to play pickleball in Kindersley. All the ladies in Sask who helped to get young and old involved whenever it may be, Roscoe. That's
what a
nice.
Solid little clutch performer there, hey?
Good job, Roscoe. You know,
like
Roscoe
that.
sends in some good texts from time to time, usually on the funny side, but that one's a good one.
Sincere.
Chalk it up on the big board. Yeah, if you have anything like that to pass along, like Roscoe, fire it away. 936-6262 Prairie Land Rentals text line. Joining us in studio, not on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline, from the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Arielle Zerr. And you just came in here and talked about it is very busy for you right now. Your communications and you're getting the news press releases like the one I got in front of me out, and you're worrying about contracts and all that. So people probably, and rightly so, they go, oh, this must be a great time. Are you going on any holidays? Are you taking a month off? No, you're grinding.
Yeah, it's a busy time for us right now, and it's an exciting time, obviously, because there's just been, we're just building on what was an incredible season in 2025, and now just like trying to do it all over again. So yeah, no, this time of the year is really busy. I say to people all the time, like when they ask me what I do, I'm like, if you heard a player on the air, if you saw them on TV, if you read about them on a website, like that's what I do for the club, right? So, or if you see a press release or an announcement that's come out, like I put that together. So, yeah, it's this time of year is a busy time of year, and so I kind of say like, the season is busy, but like January 15th to February 15th is like kind of a crunch period as well. So
it's blacked off. You can't take any holidays?
I don't think anyone's ever told me I can't take holidays, but like I'm a critical thinker. So
how does this journey get you to what you're doing today?
Like, where did it begin?
Yeah.
So like I wasn't really an athlete growing up, and I had the amazing opportunity to take part in the Foundation's Girls Summit earlier this year, and we got to talk to a bunch of, I believe your daughter was there. Yeah, I believe your daughter was there, Barney. To young girls about like their possibilities in sport and that sort of thing. And my big message to them was, you can love sport and be involved in sport and not have to be an athlete. And I love sport. I've always loved sport. I love competitiveness. I love the team. I love the environment. I love the emotions. And so I was always just like, I loved sport. I loved watching sport. I loved being around sport. And so I got my start. I went to journalism school. And I thought I was going to go into communications. This is funny because I did actually end up in communications, but I went to journalism school thinking I was going to go into communications, fell in love with sports broadcasting. And so then I was doing a little bit of sports broadcasting, and then worked at CBC, covered the Riders for a while, and then eventually kind of came into this role. I can tell you the moment I knew I wanted to do it forever, if you want to hear that. And I was working for one of the local community TV stations here, and I was covering the SJHL finals, and it was the Weyburn Red Wings, and I can't remember who they were playing anymore. I think it might have been the Humboldt Broncos actually, and it was the end of the game, and I had to go out and do a post game. It was overtime. It was to force a game. I think it was to force a game 6. And I think his name was Max Pereira, scored this game winner. And his team just, dog piles him in the other end of the rink. And I have to go over and get him for this interview and bring him to the other end of the rink. And I'm talking to Max before we get over. And he's French. He's from Quebec, so he's an import. And he's talking in French and in English interchangeably without even knowing. He's so excited, right? And just... the people of Weyburn are slamming the glass, and they're just like, it's so loud in there. And I just thought, if I can be around this my entire life, it will never feel like work. And it's true.
What a cool story.
I can tell you winning the Grey Cup did not feel like work. Everything leading up to that, but in that moment, it's just an amazing feeling I feel that sport can only give you.
So how different has this offseason, because you've been at this job for quite a while now.
7 years in April.
7 years.
Is it that long?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insane, right?
You know what you're doing. You've been through this before. Many off seasons where, maybe some fans are left disappointed. This off season, very different. So how is your busyness level
it's been really, it's really busy. And I think like the cool thing, and maybe the thing that's sometimes forgotten in free agency is like free agency really starts at the end of the season, your season, whenever it is, right? Free agency isn't just like when the window opens on February, or when the window opens on February 4th, or when other teams can sign other players or sign your players on February 10th. Free agency really starts at the end of your season. Free agency encompasses also all the guys who could go into free agency, right? So I think that's the thing that I always I'm focused on and remind people. And you talk about being busy because the work is being done to get the guys that we want back as well, right? And that also makes up that free agency period as well. So from that perspective, I mean, yeah, it's been really, really busy. And then obviously they're also looking for the next guys, right? Like Keyshawn Johnson, we didn't know who he was more than 2 years ago, and now he's one of those guys that everyone talks about.
You got to be, and just from being around for the last almost 2 years now, you got to be basically on call at whatever time too. Seems like a good team though, like with O'Day and everybody in the organization. But that's another thing that people got to understand when they get into this business. It doesn't matter how it's like. Don't expect 8 to 5. Like a lot of times, and then in your respect with what you're doing, I'm sure you're answering calls and sending emails and press releases at all hours.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that people also I've missed weddings, I've missed events with my friends, I miss birthdays, I miss these sorts of things, and that's not complaining. I love my job. I know what an immense privilege it is, but I don't have weekends in the summer, right? That's just not a thing that happens in my life. And again, it's a massive blessing, and this is not me complaining in any way, shape, or form about that. But it's constant. I always say the season has a rhythm, which I can get into really easily. It's 5 practice days, or it's a kind of a 4-day practice, and then it's game day, and you throw a little travel in there and that sort of thing. But you can adjust to it, and I have adjusted to it. But it is constant. It's not a 9 to 5. It's not for really someone that it really values work-life balance. But I to that end, I will also say that I work for an amazing organization that is very understanding of things that go on in my life. And I say, I've missed a lot of things, but I also was there when my best friend got married and it was game day. So,
it's a balance.
It's a balance.
Yeah.
There is still a balance.
I do recall, I can't remember who it was, but someone had mentioned that there was a very tight turnaround for the Grey Cup Championship parade. So I can only imagine how wild that would have been coming off the high of the Riders Grey Cup Championship game. And then you have to run back here and get everything ready. So that was probably the most chaotic week of your career, I would
for sure.
guess.
That was a very chaotic week. And shout out to Rebecca and Karina, a lot of and I would be remiss not to be here to talk about all the amazing women that work for the Roughriders that you might not see or that you see behind the scenes. The club hires women, hires capable, strong women who are so talented at their jobs. And you're seeing me here today, but you're not seeing all of the other women that work for our club in many different capacities. And so I feel so privileged to work for a company that values women and values their contributions in a way. And yes, so especially shout out to a lot of people who are working behind the scenes to make sure that when we got back, I was on a plane the next morning with the team, but that when we got back, there was a rally, that the parade route was planned. All of those kind of things that happen that, you don't think about, but there's so many things that go into.
Well, you got to get permits and you have
right.
to
And all of that stuff. Right. So there's so much that goes into it, and it truly is a team. We support a football team, but the team behind the team, is a great bunch as well.
That's something I didn't think about. Yeah. That's a lot of planning. And it just, like we talked about, it's constant and Is there one part of the job, or here maybe this is a better question I was going to ask you, is you're always learning probably and always learning little tricks. And are you learning from other people that are doing your position with other pro sports teams?
100%. And I think that that's one of the coolest things about the job is connecting with other people who do the job. And I am also very fortunate. I'm the only female comms director in the CFL, but I have great relationships with the comms directors across the league, and they're people that I really depend on. They're people that I bounce ideas off of. We go back and forth about a lot of different things, and I feel really supported, not only obviously within my organization, but within the overall structure of the CFL and the people around the CFL, and that my opinion is valued and that my contributions are valued. And so, yeah, I do learn a lot. And when I don't have the answer, or I'm not 100% sure, or, I want a vibe check, I have people, across the league that I can lean on and depend on for that kind of thing.
I was talking to, it's funny because Sean May, I think he worked for the Elks, and I was getting the Darcy Kemper interview he's the comm guy for the Los Angeles Kings. And I was like, yeah, and we're talking, he's very nice. And I said, yeah, they're on a plane or whatever. He said, maybe we can get it done tomorrow. And I said, well, it's minus 50 in Regina today. So, it's really cool. He was like, I don't miss that weather. And I'm like, come again? And he got his start. He's from Edmonton.
Yeah.
And he started with the Elks, and it just, the conversation snowballed. And he tells me, how his journey takes him to there. This is going to be tough, but you love the Riders, everything like that. Is there ever, is it hard to say 10 years from now, maybe you're doing this gig somewhere else, or you could explore it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've really thought about it in that way. I do really, really love what I do. And this is truly my dream job, or at least the goal that I was trying to hit in my career when I went to journalism school. I thought it would be really cool to do communications for the Roughriders, right?
Wow. It came the long way.
Well, awesome. I did, but also it happened also way quicker than I thought it would as well. So from that perspective, it was, I finished journalism school in 2014, and I joined the Roughriders in 2019. That's right. Let's say that's right. So and I thought one day, I hope to get there. One day I hope I could do the job, or that there would be an opportunity to do that. And it happened. It happened way quicker than I thought. And I think, one of the things that I would say, if there's young women listening as well, is take the opportunity if it's in front of you. Because there was a voice in my head saying, you're not ready. There's a voice in my head that was saying, you got to wait another 5 years. It's too soon for you to try for this. And you just have to jump when the opportunity is there, and just have the confidence in yourself to know that you're ready to do it, and that you can do the job.
Did you lean on anyone before? Did anyone say, take it and go?
When I was
when you were second guessing, maybe.
No, I wish I could say that I did. I think I just kind of was I don't know when this job is going to come open again. It's a job. I mean, now I'm saying I've been in it for 7 years. RP, who, friend of the show, co-host sometimes, was in the job, I think 10 years before I was in it. Right. Yeah. So I also kind of said, this job is not going to come open again anytime soon. And so I had to fight that inner voice that says you're not ready. To be you can get ready. Wow. Right. And so that's what I did. And I just thought I'm going to shoot my shot. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, then I'll find something else.
It's a great message.
Absolutely. I absolutely appreciate you saying that, because I think sometimes you mentioned it yourself, underrepresented. Women are underrepresented in your line of work. You're the only communications person who is a woman in this line of work when it comes to the CFL. So it's nice to be able to share that message, but I am curious, because you are the person who is setting up all of the media availabilities with these players. We've seen some of the antics with the Grey Cup throughout the offseason so far. Did you have an opportunity to spend some time with the Cup at all?
Haven't had it yet, but it's coming. I haven't had it yet, but it's coming. So I will get a little bit of time. And I've been obviously with the Grey Cup when it's been to certain places.
So kind of the keeper of the Cup.
Yeah, a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah. I've been helping kind of schedule it out and that sort of thing. But obviously the most important thing is that the players and the coaches and the guys who are putting their blood, sweat, and tears literally on the field get their time and have an opportunity to share it with the people that mean the most to them. That's really been the priority through this whole thing, is making sure that they feel it. So if you've seen it out in the community with players over these last 2 months, it's really been places that mean a lot to them and places that they wanted to take it. And starting on Saturday, we're going to start taking it out to some of the different communities so that we get to share it a little more with Rider Nation in a more official capacity.
Very cool. I thought you were going to ask about requests for players and all, and be like, who's the most annoying and why is it me?
Wow.
Asking for interview requests. But
I'm not going to call myself out, but thanks for doing it for me, Barney.
No, it's me. It's me.
It's actually Dave Thomas. Kidding.
I appreciate you coming down and doing this. You've been here before and you've brought the players to us, which is always fantastic. It's just
so appreciated.
Yeah, super
we
cool.
do an incredible job.
And thanks for sharing that story. And I think a lot of people, right, just the message, it's like, take your shot. Sometimes right on. Arielle, thanks for coming in. We'll go to break here. It is a Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
The Country Music Rewind with Colin Lovequist.
Hey, it's Cody Clyden filling in for Colin Lovequist on Country Rewind this weekend as we head back to the year 2000. Not only were there some incredible country songs, but Survivor revolutionized television and everyone was worried about Y2K.
The Country Music Rewind with Colin Lovequist. Brought to you by Crawford's No Frills. Saturday afternoons at 4 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on Country's Greatest Hits. 620 CKRM.
Did you know that February 11th is 211 Day? It's a day to raise awareness of this valuable service that connects people to community programs, social services, government supports, and more. 211 is answered by a real person who is trained to find the support you need. Life can be hard. Finding help can be easy. You're not alone. Help starts with 211 for all of life's challenges. Just dial 211 or visit sk.211.ca. Help starts here.
You know, when you talk to folks who own a tri-haul self-unloading bale mover, you hear the same thing again and again.
Once you have one, you never want to be without one.
And this one made us all smile.
In the fall, it felt like all I did was haul bales. Now I go fishing.
That's the tri-haul difference. Order now and get free delivery up to 500 kilometers. Visit trihaulbalemovers.com or call 1-800-505-9208.
When you play Sports Select, you're part of more than the game. You're backing over 12,000 sport, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan funded through Sask Lotteries. So go ahead, make your picks at sportselect.com, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer. Every play is 100% legal, and every ticket supports your community. Sports Select. When you're ready to play, bet on the original. Must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly.
It's time for the Sports Ticker. The Early Bird Spring Sale is on now at Extreme Hockey. 15 to 25% off store-wide. 1425 McIntyre Street. Online at extremehockey.net. And now open in Moose Jaw.
Riders, they did have a player signed today. Veteran linebacker Josh Woods spent the previous 5 seasons with the BC Lions, coming over to the green and white. Hockey. Western Hockey League Saskatchewan teams, Swift Current, home to Moose Jaw. PA welcomes Calgary in the SJ. We got a makeup game. Estevan is at Yorkton. Also, Weyburn traveling into Nipawin and Kindersley's in Warman. Prairie Junior Hockey, Moosomin Steelhawks travel to Pilot Butte. 8 p.m. puck drop there. AAA Midget, the females. Weyburn at the Regina Rebels, 7:30 here in Regina. Down south, Estevan welcomes Notre Dame. Senior A, big one tonight. Kenniston in Wynyard, 8 o'clock start. Game 1 there. The New York Rangers traded 34-year-old sniper Artemi Panarin to the Los Angeles Kings in the National League tonight. Canadian teams with the Battle of Alberta. Oilers, Flames, Montreal's in Winnipeg, and Vancouver travels to Vegas. One note from the Olympics. Canada beat Czechia 10-5 in mixed curling. Sportscage.com poll today. Will Canada win gold in men's hockey at the Olympics? You can vote at sportscage.com. It is for Extreme Hockey and Sport, home of the price match guarantee. Right now, 20% off a lot of items in the store. I was in there yesterday trying to get my sharpener fixed. Extreme Hockey and Sport, located Halifax Street, Cooperators, and now in Moose Jaw at the Temple Garden Center. Like I said, home of the price match guarantee. Whew, lots of talking. That was, it's been a great show so far.
Yes, and I will also add here, as we were talking with Arielle, a report just came out. Apparently, Gavin McKenna is facing assault charges right now. So that's some Semi-breaking news? I didn't see it until just now when you were doing the ticker.
Oh, I do see that now, too. Very interesting.
Just ahead of the NHL draft. Not good time.
See that game at Penn State on the weekend? I didn't watch it. It was such a good look for hockey and college hockey and everything. Yeah, it was. We'll have to follow that. Keep you updated.
Highlights, yeah.
Speaking Super Bowl, if you're thinking of a place to go, Pump Jacks Cathedral, 13th and Albert. $6 pints, 25% off Appies all day on Sunday. Prizes, you got jerseys and mini fridges, which we need here, as we talked about.
Fun atmosphere, too, for the big game.
Yeah, lots of TVs, lots of seating. Pump Jacks Cathedral, if you're looking at a place to watch the Patriots and Seahawks. I'm not confident Patriots fan.
I know you didn't say sea chickens this time.
Yeah, I got a funny, actually, I just don't know if I can tell it on air. I got a funny Seahawk.
If you're second guessing it, probably not.
I got a funny Seahawk shirt that I should try and find and wear it tomorrow for Sharky. Hour 3, Kate Beirness from TSN is going to be with us, along with Cianna Murray, who's over in Italy getting ready to ref some hockey. Very cool story that Dave Thomas caught up with her before she left. It's National Women in Sports Day. Tegan is with me. We'll be back after the break with Kate Beirness.
We are 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station, broadcasting live from downtown Regina.
Good evening, I'm Tanner Wallace-Scribner from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound in Fort Capel. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711 and brought to you by the Capital Automotive Group. Capital's 100K giveaway is back. See capital100k.ca for more information. Regina police have charged a 33-year-old woman as the third suspect in a homicide case that began on January 19th. Officers found the body of 56-year-old Michael Ross inside a vehicle after a failed traffic stop. Police arrested Shyla Key Watton yesterday and charged her with first-degree murder and indignity to a dead body. 2 other suspects already face several related charges. Key Watton appears in court this afternoon. Police thank the public for their help and ask anyone with information to contact investigators or Crime Stoppers. Regina's District Brewing is focusing on sustainability. District Brewing Marketing Coordinator Hayden McPherson explained how the company has targeted environmentally friendly initiatives.
Making sure that we're always brewing for a better tomorrow, not leaving too much an impact on our earth, and being as sustainable with everything we use as possible.
Those initiatives include reusing CO2 and supplying spent grain for farmers. McPherson noted the company is also looking at adding solar panels in the future. Downtown Regina will again host the Saturday Outdoor Farmers Market in 2026 after the Regina Farmers Market confirmed a full return to City Square. Construction delays have forced changes in recent years, but a public survey and engagement panel showed most customers prefer the downtown location. Board President Gerard Milburn says the market is more than a place to shop and helps build community connections. While some vendors favored Confederation Park for setup reasons, the board chose downtown for its wider community impact. Both Wednesday and Saturday markets will run downtown from May 2nd through October 10th. The indoor markets will return in fall. A man charged in the April 2024 Estevan shooting investigation appeared in court on February 2nd, where a new report found him fit to stand trial. 24-year-old William Joshua Curtis had earlier been declared unfit and sent to a Saskatchewan hospital. A fitness hearing is now scheduled for March 27th. Curtis faces 10 charges, including attempted murder, firearm offenses, and aggravated assault. Police say he was arrested after barricading himself in a home. He currently remains in custody. That's 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620CKRM.com.
Capital's 100K giveaway is back for 2026. The Capital Automotive Group is giving away $100,000 in cash and prizes with no strings attached. We're proud to be part of communities across Western Canada, and we know it's those communities that allow us to exist. So every once in a while, once a year to be exact, we're going to say thanks by giving away $100,000 in cash and prizes. To learn more and enter to win, check out capital100k.ca. Capital's 100K giveaway. Do not miss it.
Picture this. You sit down to watch TV and suddenly your screen freezes harder than a triple axle. If you're ready for a smoother routine, Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has a better idea. Max TV Stream. More streaming, less buffering. A performance that actually sticks the landing. And while you're at it, glide into fast SaskTel internet and cell phone packages that are balanced, reliable, and make sense for your household. Smart entertainment, smart connectivity. Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Qu'Appelle. EchoSound.ca.
Brought to you by Line X Regina, Serious Protection, Killer Lux, 1865 McCarra Street.
Partly cloudy and mild for tonight, only dropping off to around 0 for the low, and the wind will still be up, 15 to 30 kilometer per hour wind. That means wind chill still a bit of a factor, but it's mostly close to minus 10. And temperatures are going to be mild over the next few days, not just a barely freezing night, but a day of well into single digits on Thursday, getting up to around 8 degrees. The wind up even more during the day, but at 8 degrees, wind chill not a big factor, 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, certainly a noticeable wind when you're standing out in it. Cloud cover thickens up for Thursday night. A couple of flurries come through, minus 5. Those flurries negligible, and partly sunny at times on Friday. Will be at 2 degrees on the plus side, 2 on Saturday as well, which will be a mostly sunny day, and that brief dip in cool air really doesn't impact us much. Brings us back a few degrees. We're right back up to around 6, though, on Sunday, under a mostly sunny sky, staying dry early week. More unsettled, though, and snowy by midweek. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather Meteorologist Phil Spivak.
For 40 years, the team from Line X Regina has been protecting vehicles across Saskatchewan, and we're changing with the times. 3 generations of our family have protected your vehicles. Our business has evolved, and we're not stopping now. The next generation is here. Same family, same commitment, ready for the next generation of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards in all kinds of colors. Line X Regina, 1865 McCarra Street, the next generation of protective coatings.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Regina Motor Products. RMP Winter Tires at Cost event on now until March 31st when you purchase a set of 4 tires. Visit RMP online or in person today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the Wednesday edition of the Sports Cage for RMP on National Women in Sports Day. I am here with Tegan. And we have had, look at all the people texting in about the lineup and messaging about the lineup. Yes, it has been fantastic. We had Daniella Ponticelli off the start. If you want to go back and listen to anything in podcast form, she's going to be calling Olympic women's hockey.
Starting tomorrow. Yeah.
Interview with Jessica Campbell from the Monday Nooner podcast, which was fantastic. And we got about 14 minutes of it. It was like about 45 minutes long. Arielle Zerr from the Riders, just sharing some great stories. Still have Kate Beirness coming up from TSN.
We just saw her on the TV.
She was just on the TV.
Yeah.
She's going to be with us right away. And then Cianna Murray. Also, some news coming down. Penn State hockey star, former Medicine Hat Tiger, Gavin McKenna's in hot water.
Yeah, reportedly facing a felony assault charge. So this would have been after, an alleged incident on Saturday night after their game at a local bar. So facing 4 charges, including felony of aggravated assault, and after, this was downtown Saturday night. Sorry, I'm just reading this. We're getting up to
felony, aggravated assault, misdemeanor, simple assault, and 2 summary offenses for disorderly conduct and harassment. This was at a downtown bar, State College, late Saturday night.
Were they chucking hands?
That's what it sounds like. The unidentified other individual who was assaulted left with a broken jaw.
and then now want some cash.
Probably.
From okay. Now it's all coming.
That NCAA money.
That's got that NCAA money. Yeah, that'll be. Other news today, Aaron just let us know, Mark McMorris supposedly crashed at
Big air training.
Practicing training over in Italy. So we'll look up that story and we'll keep you updated there as well. Obviously, Sasky boy trying to win a gold medal.
I mean, that's scary. We see this picture here is showing medical personnel looking at him on a stretcher, taking him away. So hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, you can pull a Lindsey Vonn. You got to go on K.
That is pretty savage, though.
She's unreal.
Wow.
If she pulls this off.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Documentaries
Bobby
galore.
Bond, you're moving down here. Lindsey Vonn. And they fly. Like I said, it's not going down snow plowing. They're flying down those mountains.
Some high speed.
All right. Western Pizza guest hotline. We're going to keep it going on National Women in Sport Day. Joining us from TSN, we just looked up there. She was on the TV. Now it's Darren Dreger, who was on the program yesterday. She's joining us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Kate Beirness. Busy to thank you for making some time. Like, really, how are you pulling this off on NBA trade deadline frenzy?
You know what? When I signed up for this, I had no idea that it was NBA trade deadline day. It was like, I was going to join right at 5 o'clock your time, 6 Eastern. And then our producer's like, absolutely not. We are going live. And I was like, okie doke. It's like, my bad.
Thanks. That's pulling us a solid. That's for sure. Thank you very much. I got to ask you my first one out of the gate, Kate. I've been watching you for years. Some of the guys, you're working with, and I was like, Kate Beirness, she's fantastic. And you've been in town here. I want to ask you, if you're not doing this, what is Kate Beirness doing in her life?
Man, right now I probably could come and live in Regina. Like the way people treat me in Regina, I think but I need the notoriety of TSN, so I have to take that back. If I wasn't doing this, I probably would be I'm a failed athlete like everyone else, so I would honestly say gym teacher. Like I think just getting out there and getting to play a sport every single day. I just tried to figure out a way to stay in sports. So I would I know this sounds like so cliche. I'd love to be a farmer. I love working fields and just doing tough stuff. So I'm really appealing to the audience right now, aren't I?
Watch our text line blow up here. They'd be like, next time you're in town, if you want to come practice.
You were in Regina for last season's home opener. You guys had a chance to go to all 9 of those stadiums.
I've spent so much time in Regina this past season, and I'm about to too, because I did Plaza of Honor as well. Don't want to brag. I think I have like tons of points at the old Hotel Saskatchewan at this point, and that hotel bar that I've frequented a couple times. So
like a nice old
yes, I've spent
the smoked old fashioned
at 4 o'clock. Is it the 4 o'clock when the train whistle goes on that one too?
I think so. Yeah. Or else you were just really in one, and you were like, train whistle.
No, I swear. You ask anyone, they know what I'm talking about. Everyone gets a nice little shot of. Anyways, enough about the bars in Saskatchewan. But yeah, I love. We just got and we'll be there. I think so. Second week this season, which is the banner raising night. So we'll be there as well.
How longest stretch on the road for you in the last year? How many days? Because I think when you were here for the Plaza, you were putting in a stretch of road time.
I think it's funny because I talk about my Bond boy. I think I was on the road for 72 nights last year, which actually isn't bad. If the Raptors don't go to the postseason, it gets a little bit better. But just because we're doing so much travel, so much more travel, which is amazing with the CFL, it's it's a lot. But is there anything better in the summer? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's absolutely fair. I did want to ask you a little bit about how you got to where you are. Iconic broadcaster. Everybody knows Kate Beirness, especially here in Regina. As you mentioned, we love you. But where did this all come from? Where did you start, and when did you know this is what I want to do for a living?
My uncle owns TSN. No, I'm kidding. It's a joke. People ask me that, people ask me about nepotism all the time, and I'm like, no, I knew no one. Where did it start? You know what? It started with sport. I know I joke a lot, but I like so many broadcasters. I just loved sports so much as a kid. My dad, I think we had season seats to the Argos when I was 5. So I love the CFL more than I think people even can ever understand. And then when I blew the ACL, it was funny, you were talking about Lindsey Vonn, right? And so I blew my ACL at 17. 17. This girl, she's blown her ACL like multiple times, and she like doesn't have an ACL right now. It's going down Super G, which is just absolutely mind-blowing to me. But my thing when I did that was I'm not tough like her, and I just had to find a way to stay in sport. And I wasn't going to make it anywhere anyways. And I just remember watching Sports Desk, like Sports Desk, not Sports Center, Sports Desk. And it was like the days of like Dutchy and like just the old school awesomeness of it. And I remember thinking to myself, I think I can do that. I remember like going through the highlights like with them. And then I went and I immediately started volunteering at local TV. I got hired at the provincial level, and I got a cold call from TSN when I was 25, and I came in for an audition. Worst interview of my whole life. Like, I thought I bombed the interview so hard. I did bomb the interview. I'm sure anyone would tell you that. But then they let me go on the Sports Center desk, and I did a 15-minute like basically an audition. And I thought to myself, well, I knew I bombed the interview, so I'm never going to be back here again. And I'm not going to lie, I absolutely, when I mean I ripped it, like I ripped it. But I ripped it thinking I wasn't going to be here ever again. And then that was 17 years ago, and I've never left. So there's the whole story in a nutshell.
That is really cool. Who is the female broadcaster that I asked this earlier too to Daniella, that maybe you looked up to or that you look up to now? Is there somebody?
Yeah, for me, it's Doris Burke, and it always has been. And I've been at least, you know, the cool part about being in sport too, you have the opportunity to meet these incredible people. When I was growing up, there weren't like, we had a couple, but it wasn't anything like, there were not women on sports networks when I was growing up. When I started at TSN, there were 5 of us total. So it was Martine Geyer, myself, Jennifer Hedger, Holly Horton, and Ivanka Osmak, I believe. So there weren't many at that point, like anchoring. So yeah, and I do remember like the first time I saw Hedge, and I just thought she was awesome. But like a long time ago, a lot of my family I have in the States and in Chicago. And I remember seeing like Doris Burke and thinking to myself, oh my God, like this woman. And Michelle Tafoya was another one for me. It was mainly out of the States when I was really young that I remembered them. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, well, I thought at that point I was making the WNBA, but I'm like, this seems like a really good backup plan. So no, it's, and you know what I'm blown away with now? I say that about like how many women there were when I started in 2009. We now have more female anchors than male anchors. So if you think about how far we've come, it's just, and they're badass females.
Martine, good Sasky girl, could teach you a thing or two about farming.
Martine was one of those ones too. And it's funny, I met Martine when I was really young too, and I was 22 years old, and I was working over at Sportsnet, and man, she was awesome. I just thought Martine, I can't believe I left her to the mix there in the beginning, and she's still awesome. She's still doing it.
Yeah, amazing. I want to ask you, what's the interview that you haven't done that's maybe on your bucket list that you want to interview?
You know what? It sounds really bad. I don't want to do it. You know, I've had the privilege of, I think, interviewing the majority of sports figures, you know, around the world, which has been the most incredible thing. And like female athletics is by far my favorite. So, you know, I've covered Olympics, which is great. I work with Cianners, for God's sakes. It's awesome. But it's funny. I fell in love with basketball because of Michael Jordan. And I would rather now I just want to keep it that way in my mind. I want to keep like the Wings poster on my bedroom wall. I think one of the reasons that I've stuck around in sports so long is I'm in awe of what like an athlete can do, but I can honestly say to you guys, I've never been starstruck. And I think the first time I was ever starstruck was actually when I met Doris Burke for the very first time. Oh, yeah. But other than that, I think I'd rather keep MJ just in my thoughts as like, you know, that person I got to watch playing for the Bulls in the 90s.
Cool. So when you look back at your career, as you mentioned, you've had an opportunity to cover a lot of different sports, and I know your love for basketball, especially back in 2019 when the Raptors won that championship. Is there a moment, though, that stands out amongst all of the rest where it's like, that is the coolest interview I ever got to do?
You know what? It has to be that championship. I mean, there's just nothing that even compares to that night. And the interesting part with that night too is, you split the games with Sportsnet, right? So you only have a 50-50 shot of having the game that's going to win it. We all thought they were going to win it at home the game before that in Game 5. And then as the national broadcaster, it was myself, Ramona Shelburne, and Doris, and the three of us got interviews after, and we were also the first three let into the locker room. So we got interviews before no one else got interviews. So when I opened that door, and there was like the team and the ownership, and then just us. And then you knew the guys so well at that point. You've been covering the whole team the entire run, and it was just so easy just to go up and talk to them. I think I don't know if I'll ever get that moment again in my life, which is
getting
but you know
soaked
the
in
cool
beer.
part is, oh, it's soaked in beer. Norton Powell is just like, if you like pouring Coors Lights just in my eyes the whole time. I smelled like booze for like 3 straight days.
You do have Sasky.
I did.
You have Sasky.
I do. I swear to God. I was born in Saskatchewan. I'll say this though, as cool as that is, right? And I'm not pandering to the crowd. I swear when I say this. The reason I love the CFL, among many things, is the accessibility of the league. So we were on the field when the Riders won the Grey Cup this year. And then we said, go grab us, anyone. Like I said, go grab AJ, go grab Trevor. Like the 5-star players of the team all came over together. And then Corey came over. And it's just like, that is just, you don't get that in pro sport anymore. And it's the thing I miss so much about pro sport. And that, like, doing that post game this year was just, and with the Rider fans just like on top of you. I mean, there's really not much better at this point in my career than doing stuff like that.
You're probably going to say, I'm thinking you might say never, but in the business, what's the most nervous you've been?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't think, what's the most nervous I've ever been? Probably my very first Sports Center when I was 25. Yeah. I mean, I screwed up. Oh, I screwed up so bad. I had to retape an on-cam like 7 times. But as soon as I think I got through that SC, it's, you know what it is? It's always been so much fun to me. I'm more nervous about like real things in life. I'm less nervous about television because to me, we're entertainment, right? Like we're out there having fun. I think I get nervous when I have a coworker who I can see is panicking, which doesn't happen often, or like an interview, like I'm interviewing someone and they're not comfortable. I would say that's where my head actually leaves from doing my job to making sure that person's going to be A-okay. But yeah, that's a bad thing to say though, that I'm not nervous, but I'm not nervous.
I thought you would say your first time. You got it. Yeah.
The first time was bad. I also swore on an update like the week after. I said, I won't say what I said, but you can take a guess. I said Tiger Woods is, instead of saying sitting, I said the other word, second, the Travelers Championship, whatever. And it was just before social media hit, because Twitter came along, I think, in like 2010. And if they had this clip, and no one does, because I think it's been burnt somewhere, but I'm like this. Oh my God, like my whole face just dropped. So yeah, I thought I was going to be fired that day. So I was probably pretty nervous after that.
Well, good thing you didn't get fired. We see a lot of
There's
you.
There's still time, guys. There's still time.
We see a lot of you on the panel with your coworkers during the CFL season. And there is something to be said. When you talk about when you're interviewing someone and if they're uncomfortable, then you want to just make sure that person is okay. Talk a little bit about your teammates and the camaraderie that you guys have built. You guys genuinely seem to be friends, not just coworkers.
You know what? And it's something that I think is so uniquely special. I really do. And like I always say about the CFL panel in particular, it's the 3 brothers I never asked for, but I swear to God, I could not live without them. And what I love so much about them is that they're so different too. Milt and I have a very similar dedication for like athletics and like healthy living. I will rip it, as you guys know. Milt will not. Milt's like the most straight-laced human being you'll ever meet. Enoch is this joyful human being who's just an amazing football player, but even better guy, even better father. And then Chezzy just brings this dynamic to it that pulls the entire thing together. And, he's one way, but then you see him with his daughters and he's the other. And I genuinely love them. And I know that that's ridiculous, but I think it's the reason the panel's so good. I really do. I have the same camaraderie with the NBA panel with Kia and Leo. So I swear I'm the luckiest person in broadcasting.
Do you? I want to ask this question. You interview people and then you see people getting interviewed and all that. And I'm always like, I think somebody should make a rule that athletes are no longer allowed to say man. And it's not because of the whole female man, but it's just like everybody. It's like, you know what, man? It's our team, man. It's this man. It's this man. For some reason, that drives me insane.
Like, so that a guy is like calling me man?
But yeah, because they say it so often, and now there's so many females, like Erin Andrews or whoever is interviewing, and it's always man, and I'm just like, I think these guys, can we coach these guys?
You know what the funny part is I'm with you too, and like a lot of them try incredibly hard. It's sometimes just woven into like going like decades and decades. But I'll tell you this, when I started, it was very different when I started versus now. You also earn respect in the industry, you do. But I think a lot of these guys too, they're at the point where they would, like, they're almost like a protector role too. They're like, oh, don't you talk to her. Like they're just kind of more like that. But yeah, the dude, I get dude a lot. I get, hey dude, like, hey man, right. Like, all right, cool. Like, it is what it is.
You're probably guzzling at the Hotel Sask, right? You're putting them back.
No, it's because I can outdo them in sports knowledge. That's why.
When's the last time you played pickup game? Basketball.
Last time I played pickup at the Y 2 weeks ago.
Nice. Yeah, so you still got games.
Yeah, no, I love a good run. I love a good run at the Y once in a while. So, and then one of these days I'll get Kia to retire, and we'll just be playing one-on-one the whole time. I'm no word of a lie. I asked the Toronto Tempo, and they did agree to it, whether it happens or not. I've been told I am in the open tryout for Tempo. So we'll see. 42 years old, dreams coming true.
This is fantastic. Well, you got to get back on the air. We're told.
I do.
Okay.
I do. We're live at 6 o'clock your time, but thanks for having me on, guys.
Kate, thanks so much. Awesome stuff. What a great story.
Go Riders.
Thanks, Kate.
Kate Beirness from TSN, and she was literally on, and then she's going on again. Like, she's not lying. I was like, oh, that must be pre-taped. And it's like, no.
Genuinely on the panel, walks off, and 2 minutes later, here she is, streaming sportscage.com. It's crazy.
Very interesting from that is now they have more female anchors than male.
Yes, because when I was looking into this, she and Natasha were the first ever female anchor team. Back when she started. Yeah, back when she started. That there wasn't a duo of females, and look at it now, right? It's definitely changed quite a bit over the years.
It's National Women in Sports Day. It's been a jam-packed show. We're going to continue it going. We'll go to break here. It is a Sports Cage streaming through our YouTube channel if you want to watch along at sportscage.com, always on 620 CKRM.
New year, same old basement? Fries Tallman Lumber has everything you need to transform that space from storage to stunning. Framing lumber, insulation, drywall, interior doors, molding, and ceiling tiles. All the materials to turn your basement into something you'll actually use. Start the year by building it right with help from the pros who know interiors. And they'll deliver it if you live in Regina, Fort Capel, or anywhere in southern Saskatchewan. Visit FriesTallman.com. Fries Tallman. Let's get you building.
Sask Lotteries has over 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
Some big news in the sporting world. Gavin McKenna facing assault charges after an altercation Saturday night at Penn State. Also, Canadian snowboarder Mark McMorris taken off the mountain tonight on a stretcher during a training crash over in Italy. Very, very, very scary there. Roughriders made a signing today, signing veteran linebacker Josh Woods. He was with the BC Lions for the previous 5 years. Hockey around the area tonight. Moose Jaws in Swift Current. PA's home to Calgary in the dub. SJ makeup game. Estevans in Yorkton. Nipawin welcomes Weyburn. Kindersley's in Warren. Prairie Junior. Moosomin traveling to the Pilot Butte Storm at 8 p.m. AAA midget. The females. Rebels home to Weyburn. Notre Dame's in Estevan as far as the male go. And then in Senior A, Kenaston at Wynyard tonight. First game of that one. NHL signing. Artemi Panarin signs with the Los Angeles Kings. The Battle of Alberta at 9 p.m. Oilers and Flames. Winnipeg is home to Montreal, and Vancouver is in Vegas. That's your sport ticker for Regina Steelcraft Doors, made in Western Canada for Western Canada. Tough enough for true north weather. This Mark McMorris thing, I'm trying to read a little bit up on it. Has anybody gotten an update that I have? It just looks like he's taken off on a stretcher. Not good. Getting ready for his 4th Olympics. 3-time medalist, Sasky boy.
I mean, the stretcher makes me nervous. I really hope that it's more of a precautionary thing. It's hard to tell because I can't imagine there's much footage of him practicing big air, like when he's doing the training for it, unless it's his own people, just for film study later.
I would suspect it's just precautionary, especially with snowboarding. You have a hard hit. They want to keep the neck stable kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But, yeah.
Still scary.
There's, and we're getting some text messages on the text line about updates on the Gavin McKenna thing. That is probably going to go on for a few days here and see how. I'd like to know the real story there to start.
Quick thing on Mark. Our friend of the show, Devin Haru, got a comment from the Canada snowboard team. Mark's okay. More to come. So that's what we got.
It's not a lot.
Nope.
Not a lot, but it's something. It's more than we had 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. And then we talked about the Lindsey Vonn thing, and you think it's any big event that an athlete's going to. It's like when I had interviewed Ben Hebert, they're going curling, and he's been to I think 3 Olympics, and I was like, so do you kind of walk on eggshells for a little bit here? Because I fell down my stairs. You saw the video.
Oh, there's a video?
Oh, Joey. It's Luke Mullender and I could have falling down icy stairs. Well, that's why I had my computer broke. It was in my backpack, and it was real.
I don't mean to laugh. I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead. It doesn't matter. It's just at my age, I'm like, man, the amount of things that could have broke, and I could have been in rough shape. But the Olympians, it's like
wrap them in bubble wrap at this point.
Like tonight, Oilers and Flames.
Bubble wrap.
Yeah. No one touch McDavid.
Bubble wrap.
Off limits.
Yep. Cannot. Oh, man.
It's funny that you really think, do they need to play? Like, I know it's the NHL, it's his job, and does he need to play tonight against Calgary?
Speaking of hockey, quick though, I did find it. It was the 2002 Winter Olympics gold medal final with the women's.
The penalties?
Yeah. Stacey Livingston called 13 penalties on the Canadian team, and I believe she called 6 on her own. And Captain Haley Wickenheiser said it was disgusting, I think was her quote. Or outrageous. No, atrocious. There we go.
Atrocious.
Our NHL Insider hit with Eric Francis. He brought that up, and I think that's...
Canada still won 3-2 that year, but
stuck it in there.
13 and 6?
Yeah,
penalties?
She called 13 on Canada, 6 on the U.S. I don't know what the other ref called, but yeah.
There's okay. I want to talk about WHL. There's only 2 games tonight up in PA. Calgary's in town. Should be a good one there. Then down the road, Moose Jaw and Swifty. You work all the Pat games. Last night, Red Deer picks up 2 points. They move 2 points up on the Pats, but they have 3 games in hand. That excitement, though, now for this young Pats team.
It's building.
To try and make the playoffs.
Yeah.
If they make it, great. You're probably... going to get smashed against PA, let's be honest.
They're so good.
Yeah.
They are incredible.
Medicine Hat, Murderer's Row, or you got Medicine Hat there, right? So the Pats are back at home Friday against the Saskatoon Blades. WHL report for the annual outdoor RV celebration at Affordable Trailer Sales, February 6th to 16th. Every new unit purchase comes with instant cash payments. They're staying on their lot, passing those savings on to you. They're family run. They've been here. They're going to still be here. Affordable Trailer Sales celebration. Somebody just mentioned the Tate McRae thing. I was going to ask you about that.
I'm out of the loop on this. I'm not sure exactly what's going on.
I sent you the video, I think,
Tate
Colson.
McRae.
Yeah.
From Calgary, right? She's that pop musician?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
I believe she's dating Quinn Hughes, isn't she?
Used to date Regina boy Cole Sillinger. She did
She did an advertisement for one of the networks in the States for the Olympics, saying she can't wait to meet Team USA.
And everybody's jumping on it because she's Canadian.
That's an odd choice. Especially because of the political climate right now between Canada and the U.S. I know it's been an ongoing thing for a while.
NBC, that's on them. Like Tate McRae, someone comes with some money and her agent says, hey, you're doing a promo shoot for NBC for the Olympics. Okay.
But then it's also on her agent.
Yeah, agent wants to get paid.
Well, get that
agent
bag,
wants
I guess.
his cut.
True.
So, yeah, there's a lot of people out there talking about, for me, at the end of the day, I actually think it's kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, okay.
I mean,
they use John Hamm or next.
But I feel like this is also maybe a little bit more tactical than we're giving her credit for, because it's going to get people talking. Controversy sells in this day and age. If it doesn't stand out, it kind of gets tossed to the wayside, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially when it comes to advertisements. There's been so many controversial commercials in the past.
We talked about this in hour 1, too. Professional basketball back in Saskatoon this year. Now, I don't know if in the release if they said anything about playing games in Regina and PA, because that was talked about, but they are going to play games at the Belcher Center and at Sask Place, but they're changing the name from the Saskatchewan Rattlers. Nothing says Saskatchewan like snakes, and I know all you in the Leader area and in that southwest area, I know there's snakes there, and there's bull snakes in some of the golf courses and garter snakes and that.
But we're not known for snakes.
We're definitely not known. For my kids this year in Medicine Hat, they're like, why is the college called the Rattlers? I said, because there's rattlesnakes here. And my boy and I were going golfing. It was July. And I said, oh, yeah, in this coulee here, there's snakes. He's like, get out of here. So then he's on the Google. And he's like,
on the Google?
He's on, there is. And I'm like, yeah, why would I lie about that? But anyway, they changed the name from the Rattlers to the
Saskatoon Mamba.
Is it Saskatoon or is it Saskatchewan?
Saskatoon.
Really?
Saskatoon
Which
Mamba.
I'm like, that change alone, you're removing part of your demographic.
Correct.
I understand you only play there, but still.
They were teasing this rebrand for a while. And there was some really, really tiny, small part of me that thought maybe new ownership is going to make them the Regina Rattlers. And they're going to be moving them here. Very small part of me. I was not expecting Saskatoon Mamba with a I don't even know if it's pink or purple or fuchsia or what we're calling it.
Purple.
Sorry. Okay, you were right, Barney. It is purple
to me. I'm a purple guy.
You're a big purple guy, Barney.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
And then I've been trying to rack my brain on a different name.
Prairie Line Rental's text line. People can give us some suggestions.
Well, somebody did mention like drunken something or other.
That was just someone.
That was Jeffrey.
I don't.
That was his Calgaryness coming out.
Like when you think Saskatchewan, you think of prairies, you think of wheat, you think of farming.
Maybe like a gardener snake.
Why do we have to go snake?
Well, I mean, they just changed the species from one snake to another, so.
Go gopher. Play on it.
Prairie dog.
Have fun with it.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Saskatoon berries. Prime example where they just went all in. Let's lean into how goofy this is.
So good.
It was a brilliant marketing idea.
And I'm from Saskatoon, and I'm still at a loss for Saskatoon, the river.
Saskatoon stars, big wide open skies.
You guys are both too young, but they had the Storm back in the 90s, the Saskatchewan Storm. People used to drive from Regina, had season tickets. It was professional basketball. There was a weird rule in the league. You had to be under a certain height, which actually made it, I guess the parity in the league. And then it kind of lasted a year or two. Then they brought in the Saskatoon Saskatchewan Slam. Okay, well, not original. Probably better than Mamba, though, in my...
I mean, at least Saskatoon Slam sounds a little more like it's from a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah. And then they had I think, a couple of years, and then kaput. They were gone as well. So, yeah, the Saskatoon Mamba are back. Hey, sprinkle of the day for Sports Select. There are NHL games tonight if you want to get in on the action. The Super Bowl odds haven't changed. Still 5 points for Seattle And the over-under sitting at 45.5. I was looking at the weather today, and I'm like,
and
that over-under, I'm like, but then, you can't really judge on how many points have been scored in the other games. But I would go tonight. And Tegan, I don't know. What's your NHL team?
I am kind of a free agent right now. I used to be a Habs fan, and then I was kind of pulled over to the Flames due to my fiance, but I don't know. Free agent. I could be swayed.
We got a number of options. I like the late games because then everyone's kind of sleeping. The daughter's usually making popcorn, sit down. And, Oilers Flames. Why does a guy take the Flames? The tie, maybe? Oilers looked awful last night.
They did.
And
I don't know how the Leafs managed to go through Alberta with that many points.
Over under is 6. Maybe that would be the play. Let's do that. Let's go over 6 goals. And then the Canucks and Golden Knights in Las Vegas. Vancouver is in rebuild mode. Next year, country. I'd take the over there as well. You take both of those overs?
You think the Knights are just going to completely unload on
That
them?
might be the play. All correct. Your odds are 15-30 if you do that auction, so not bad at all. You can generate a QR code on your phone or online. Just go into the Lotto Spot retailer. They scan it, and you got your ticket. If you don't want to fill out the slips, every bet is 100% legal. Chance of winning cash in hand. Sports Select when you're ready to play. Bet on the original. Must be 18 plus to play. Play responsibly. We didn't even get into futures. Have you heard me talk about the futures for Olympics?
I have. Are you sprinkling something?
1,000-meter speed skating. I might. The winner in the 1,000.
I mean, you're not going to be able to do this again for another 4 years.
David Gaiotto is the favorite, followed by, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. There's a Vladimir. He sounds fast.
Just because of his name? Okay.
Stingen Van den Bunt is 31. I'd take him. 31-1 odds. Yeah, the futures on Olympic sports on sportselect.com is a wild ride if you want to do that. Colson, what are we missing so far for today?
I think that pretty much covers everything.
U of S Huskies dumped the U of R Cougars last night. Unfortunately, women's basketball 81-69. Cougars still 15-3. U of S is undefeated. You said they haven't lost in like 2 years?
Mm-hmm. I know it's carried over from last season for sure.
I did that. All right. So we're
just doing housekeeping, making sure we're not missing anything.
Riders signed veteran linebacker Joshua. That Vi Jones signing. Now that was last week, I think.
Yeah.
I like that sign. Vi Jones could be my new guy.
You think?
He could be. Remember when Ojo and I was all up on Ojo, and we're still hanging out. But I don't mind Ojo. But I think this Vi Jones signing.
So you're gonna go grab a new jersey after this?
No, I don't
Swing
know.
by the Rider store?
I don't know
Are you
if
that committed?
I'm not that committed. No, not at this point.
Part-timer.
This isn't Dante Myers to Cincinnati.
Yeah, well, that's a good present.
That would hint.
See, we're getting messages too about the big game in Wynyard. I would go to that game if there was a bus leaving Regina. Wynyard, Kenaston tonight, 8:00. Great facility in Wynyard.
What's the name of that barn?
Co-op, I think, is the sponsor of it. Sorry if I'm wrong, Wynyard.
I put him on the spot. Sorry.
Senior A1. Tegan, thanks so much. We still have Dave Thomas coming up with an interview with Cianna
Murray. Pardon me.
She's over in Italy.
Yeah, going to be doing some officiating over there.
So that's coming up with Dave. Colson, good job. Tegan, good job. I'm back tomorrow. We'll talk to you then.
Dan from Croft Electric tells us why it's worth it to have your farm's electrical done right.
You don't go to the cheapest eye doctor. You want to go to one that's going to make sure that the product and whatever you need is done right. So that's what you may have to pay a little extra to get us there, but we'll make sure that whatever your electrical project is, Croft Electric will make sure it's done right.
Croft Electric.
We believe we'd be the right choice for you.
CroftElectric.com.
February 8th is game day, and Pump Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse is your super game headquarters. All day and all night. Grab $6 pints and 25% off appies, because the only thing better than a super play is a super plate. With ample seating, a packed house atmosphere, and prizes like jerseys, mini fridges, and more, this is where fans come to cheer loud and support local. Cold beer, hot food on the corner of Albert and 13th. Pump Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
Ever seen a cow in a toque or a sweater? You probably could. They're not fans of winter either. When it's freezing out, your herd still needs water. But good luck convincing them to trek half a mile through snowdrifts for a drink. That's where Keln Solar comes in. Their solar livestock watering systems let you drop a pump just about anywhere. No grid, no trenching, no drama. So let the cows stay cozy. You move the water. Keln Solar. They move water because your cows won't. Visit kelnsolar.com.
If it's happening in sports in Saskatchewan, we've got it covered on Sportscage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. On your radio at 620 CKRM and online at sportscage.com.
Well, we are so pleased to welcome Cianna Murray joining us, and I guess I was going to start by saying, so are you ready for Italy? But I think it's too late to not be ready for Italy, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We're about 48 hours from takeoff here, so it's coming quick and really looking forward to it.
Now, what is this experience going to be like? Have you been able to put it in your mind and completely decipher from work, and maybe if there's any opportunity at all to take a step back and just be where your feet are, for lack of a better term?
Yeah, absolutely. There's still lots of stuff to put in place here back at home. I am a school teacher, so lots of planning and prep is going into for the month that I'm going to be away. But definitely once that plane takes off and I'm actually in the air, that's when I'm able to lock in, focus, and really take it all in and enjoy the moment. So I'm looking forward to that moment, and it's going to come quick.
Cianna Murray is going to Milan Cortina as part of the officiating delegation for the International Ice Hockey Federation. Let's go all the way back to when you started officiating. And I'm glad that you decided that you'd have this conversation with me, as there was actually a time where you officiated my son way back in the day. So how did this all start that you decided that you go down the road and path of officiating?
What a small world. I started officiating kind of the same way I got into hockey. I grew up with two brothers. I am the middle child, so an older brother and a younger brother. And I always told my parents whatever they got to do, I had to do it too. So I was never wanted to feel left out. They gave me every opportunity that the boys got. And so when my older brother, Craig, wanted to try out officiating, I told my parents, well, I have to go to the ref clinic as well. So I signed up for it, and I really did fall in love with it and just kind of stuck with it when I was in high school and throughout university. And the career really took off from there.
At what point did you know that you were good and that you enjoyed officiating?
I think that didn't come until I was maybe 3 years into our midget AAA leagues back home, and I was beginning to work more playoff assignments over some of the male officials. At the time, there was only myself and two other females in all of Saskatchewan who were working within men's hockey. So I think it was at that moment when I realized, like, oh, I might actually be pretty good at this. And that was the same year that I worked my first national tournament with Hockey Canada. And I really got that taste of what officiating looks like outside the province, outside our leagues here within Saskatchewan, and kind of opened my eyes to potential opportunities that could be out there for officiating.
So you obviously have excelled both in the men's and women's game when you're officiating. Is there a difference between the two?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely different styles of hockey. Rules that are impacted within the women's game, such as the illegal body checking and stuff like that. But in terms of officiating, things like our sight lines are very different. So in men's hockey, we have to be aware of those hits. We have to watch the hits as the play develops up the ice. So our sight lines are different, and even our positioning. So the games are played very different from the men's to the women's. So there are little changes throughout.
In the men's game, you don't see a lot of officials with long hair. That sticks out right away. And obviously, fans, players, coaches, they all know and recognize. Do you feel that you've ever been treated differently because you are a female officiating men's hockey?
Yeah, there's definitely been times when maybe somebody who hasn't seen me work before doesn't really know what to expect when I do come out there as a 5'3" female in a men's game where I have to look up to everybody. But it doesn't take long for them to realize, okay, she's out here for that reason. She's more than capable of working at this level. So that perception does change pretty quickly.
It's interesting having a conversation with Brad Howard. One of your mentors served as referee-in-chief with the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League a lot of times. And he would point to the fact that, okay, you know what? Yeah, you're great physically in the fact that you can be where you need to be. You're able to do what you need to do. But he talked about your communication skills and your confidence as being two things that set you apart. When you hear that, do you agree with that? And what does the takeaway for you in hearing that from a mentor?
Yeah, I mean, those are two aspects of my game that I have really honed in on in the last 5 years. And that's when I've found I've had the most success as an official. I do pride myself in the ability to listen and to communicate well on the ice. And that builds my confidence. I know that no matter what happens out there on the ice, that I will have the skills to be able to communicate and to de-escalate really any situation that I might see. So to hear Brad talk about that and recognize that, I feel very proud because it's something that I've definitely worked on a lot in the last 5 years.
So SJHL, Western Hockey League, now the international game, you've already mentioned how different the games are. How much homework do you have to do before you step on the ice, before officiating a game which could maybe change night to night for you?
Yeah, I work currently now in about 6 different leagues. Each league has its own set of rules, its own supplement that goes along with it, its unique rule book. So it is a lot of studying the rules. Of course, hockey has the basic rules that are in every league, but you really need to know, okay, what league am I working tonight? What rule differences does it have? And you need to be on top of those because we're expected to know the rules. And something that I find works really well is for each league I work, I have a little cheat sheet that I review the day before, maybe the morning of, and even when I'm an hour before the game, sitting in the locker room with my crew, we're going to be talking about, okay, for this league, these are the specific rules, just to make sure that no mistakes are made.
Cianna Murray is joining us, of course, going to be officiating at the Milan Cortina Olympic Games in ice hockey. When you hear that, what does that Olympic experience, what's it going to look like for you? As I'm assuming there's so much work that goes on behind the scenes for officials that the casual fan has no idea of. Do you know what to expect when it comes to meetings and preparation and review and recall?
Yeah, absolutely. I was lucky enough, I worked in the 2022 Olympics in Beijing. So I do know what it's going to look like in terms of, we'll call it a workload. So we will skate only one game a day. We might have a standby day where we're a backup official in case anybody gets hurt. We'll have a few days off mixed within the tournament. And we usually don't have group meetings every single day. They might be every 3 to 4 days where we meet as an officiating team with all of the officials and our coaches and do video review, discussions, anything that might come up. But what's going to be the biggest difference this time is we are not going to have to live in a COVID bubble. So it will be that true Olympic experience where we are free to go take in the other sports, go to the athletes' village, really take in that whole experience. And I think that's going to make this one even 10 times more special than the last one.
You are paving the way for the next generation of official. You're not that old, so I don't know if you're going to get offended by this or not. But obviously there are a lot of young females that look up to you, not just as a teacher, but in what you do on the ice as an official. What does that mean to you, and how big of a responsibility is it?
That means so much. When I started my career, I had no idea all the places I would be able to travel to and the things that I could achieve. But it wasn't really an easy path to get there. So in the last 5 years, I've kind of made it my personal goal just to, as you say, pave the way, or just to make it easier for that next female who says, hey, I want to go referee in the midget AAA leagues or in the SJHL. And just to make it more visible. Be that role model for those little girls to look up to and say, well, she can do it, so I'm going to do it. It is possible.
Is there ever a point where you look back and say, wow, I overcame that and was able to achieve this?
Yeah, I think anytime that you have success in a league, whether it's a male-dominated league or a female league, just to look back and maybe you worked a playoff round. And I remember, okay, the first game in this league, it felt so hard and I felt so out of my element. But now look at how far I come. So whether that's in the SJHL, in a Western League game, or my first international event to now being at the Olympics, it's cool to take a step back and just reflect on it all, because it's been quite the journey.
Absolutely. The journey continued as you're now married to another official and you've had an opportunity to work together. I'm so curious about this dynamic because my wife and I, we have problems deciding on whether or not we should go to the Italian restaurant or the Mexican restaurant. I couldn't imagine trying to decide whether it was a major penalty or not with my spouse.
Yeah, it's funny. We get those comments all the time when we do work together of who has the final say. But honestly, once we got on the ice, we are a really great team. So when you get out there, we both realize we have a job to do. We're there to serve the game. So that truly is our main focus, and we put our egos aside. That being said, it is a lot of fun to work with my husband, Troy. We have a blast together on the ice. And I can say that we do push each other to become even better officials. I know he's been really key in my development as well, working with him. I worked plenty of Western League games with him where he would pick out little things that maybe a supervisor and officials coach might not notice, and he would tell me those. And it could be from the smallest thing that I just change and add to my toolkit to make me an even better official. So really fortunate for that.
Where did that approach from? Because if I approach that with my significant other, and for example, a driving tip, that doesn't go well.
Yeah, absolutely. But you just got to remember at the end of the day, he's not nitpicking, and maybe there'll be a couple sarcastic remarks and we'll banter back and forth. But at the end of the day, I have learned a lot from him. So I'll keep learning and keep taking it all in. Okay,
last two for you. You were in Italy at the Olympics. Is there an event that you would like to try to catch if you can?
Yeah, I definitely want to take in the figure skating. I just think it is phenomenal seeing what those athletes can do on the ice. I think back to myself on my hockey skates, and there's no way I could be able to do it. So I find that so fascinating, as well as the curling. I think that would be awesome to take in. So I'm hoping to get to both of those events for sure, if not more.
Cianna Murray, we are celebrating women in sport. You definitely are an excellent role model for those that are around you, and you make people better by what you do. If you had a message that you'd want to send to a young, aspiring female, whether she is going into officiating, whether she's chasing a dream in another athletic sport, what would you say?
I would say don't be afraid to dream big. Even if your dreams sound a little crazy, anything is possible. Just set your mind to it and keep working hard.
Thank you for your time, and enjoy the Olympics.
Thank you so much.
You want to stay in the loop without any hassle. Well, we've got the perfect solution for you. The Regina Today newsletter. Get the Regina Today newsletter delivered straight to your phone. No searching, no scrolling, just all the latest news, events, and contests when you want it. Text the word news to 306-936-6262 and get the inside scoop sent straight to your inbox. Regina Today from sastoday.ca, bringing the city to your fingertips.
Co-op has been beside local farmers and ranchers for generations. With Western Canada's largest fuel network and a team of local agronomy experts, Co-op is built to keep your operation moving forward. With deep local knowledge of the factors affecting your farm, we're ready to provide trusted advice in the field and on the ground.